The thing that I was hearing.
Just a strategy game, it's a grand strategy game.
That's an encirclement, mate.
Encirclement.
It's not looking good. Yeah, oh my god, encirclement. That's like 8 divisions, more than that. I mean, it's like... There we have it. C-Mox is our champion. The allies who needs to win now. Dankus is in the street. The back section is fine.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. You may have seen something appear a moment ago. It didn't happen. Trust us. It did not happen. Nothing about that ever happened. Hello and welcome to Hoi Commanders Group 8 Final here on Parabellum. We are teaming up with the fantastic people over at Paradox and the Hoi Commanders mod to bring you a group stage of their World Championship. This is our final. This has been people selected from our community groups. Anyone on our community could have signed up, and we're down to 4 players. We're going to have 2 semi-finals and then a final. My name is Midgeman. I'm joined by, obviously, the wonderful Laith. Laith, how's your Hoi experience? We've talked about this briefly before, but how? Like, give me the rundown.
Fantastic. I personally would say I'm one of the best in the world.
You're one of the best in the world.
Yes, like unironically. So,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter if people believe me or not. What matters is the truth, and the truth is I am the greatest of all time.
Fair. I mean,
I was
okay.
actually asked by Pirates to not participate in this tournament.
Oh, okay.
They sent me a check for the amount just to say, look, we know you're going to win it. Just stay out, please.
And how much have you played of Commanders?
I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah,
man.
sure.
Our
audience, you can't hear. So if you're a producer and you're over on our producers, I'll let you know what the hell just happened right at the end of the stream. But put it this way, it's the most embarrassing moment I've had as a live stream producer in probably about a year. No, that's a lie. In the last 2 months. Anyway, we're digressing because we're actually already in game with our first game. So we're going to quickly just head on into game and actually get this show properly on the road and start talking about Hoi Commanders. So, if you've never seen Commanders before, Hoi Commanders is a total overhaul mod for Hearts of Iron 4, which brings it into a competitive scenario. It has 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s. This is a 1v1 tournament. Today, we have the player John Loves Microplastics versus Sky in the first of our semi-finals here. And basically, John is on the allies, Sky is on the Axis, and that's what's going on. There's 3 ways to win. Either your opponent surrenders, you force them to capitulate by taking all their territory, or you bleed their life points down to 0. You can see at the top bar here, there is 500 versus 500. I will make sure that this is bigger on the stream in just a moment when I'm finished talking. And basically, if you hold the majority of victory points, that can be bled down, and if it hits 0, you're out of the game. This is the map Baltic Blitz. This is a 5 victory point map. Laith, if you're looking at your screen, the places to look for and look at are Gotland, Memel, Vilno, Lik, and Brest-Litovsk. If you hold the majority of these points, you'll start bleeding your opponent's health points down. And basically, it's a tug of war as to who can get there. There's some other little tricky things in the game, but yeah, that's kind of the basic rundown. That's what we're expecting our players. The next sort of caveat is there's 275 days to, once the game unpause, to build up before war starts. And there is a focus tree or a set of focus trees to help people. Now, we missed it because of that sort of delayed intro. I completely take the blame there. But our players have also, there was a map pick. So this is John's map pick. And then there's also faction bans. Sky picked that they wanted to be on the Axis, as this is the Allies. You good?
Yeah, I mean, you just covered everything.
Oh, yeah, it's the Allies map pick. And then there was also faction bans. Did you catch what those faction bans were?
My friend, you hire me for my pretty face, not for my insight.
That's so true. Well, I can tell you there's a fast way to find out in the mod. Well, if you hover over certain factions, it will tell you who was banned. But anyway, 5th Guard's tank army was banned from the Allies.
And you asked me the question when you already knew the answer?
Hell yeah, I'm testing you. Because remember, at one point of this, it's going to be you and Red Hawk casting, and everything that you pick up now is stuff that you will have to convey to Red Hawk. That's right, Parabellum fans. We're playing a game of human telephone, and the casters are going to get progressively less knowledge about the game as we go on tonight. I will be back later, don't worry. Anyway, the current meta as well, you'll see, is our players will start rapid industrialization. Over in the right-hand side, there's an industry and sort of tech support tree. We'll see them go down these initial industry focus. The arms industry focus isn't down. And when they get to the final arms industry, that's when we'll start seeing their faction picks come in. Each faction commander has very, very different elements about them. Like they all have different boons and bonuses. Some are better at certain builds and others. And that's kind of the chess match of the game. You're looking to either take a build that counters your opponent or not. Or just build a build that you're comfortable with and hope you can win that way. We're also seeing people get their initial tech, and the game is actually rolling right now. So yeah, initial questions, Laith. What is the first thing you need to know?
The first thing I need to know? The first thing I need to know is what is the most interesting strat they could do? Because I'm looking at all the different focus trees, right? And I understand them to a decent degree. But what could we be seeing here that would be a little bit out of the box? That's what I'm interested in.
Out of the box, you say? Well, the thing is, for commanders, there is no holds barred in the way that you can attack people. We don't have any. The only blockers on what you can and can't do is players aren't allowed to have units smaller than 8 width. Like combat width. Okay. They're not allowed to stack their navy in any less than ships of 3, and basically that's it. So you're likely to see naval invasion. Naval is going to be something that at least one player is going to have to focus on this game if they want to hold the Gotland VP. That, or they have to invest paratroopers and try and get dominant of the airspace. So we're going to see, we'll always see some sort of divergence in. It's not just going to just be true.
Sorry.
Really? What would you mean?
I disagree. Yeah. I like Gotland is 1. Why would you invest in the navy to secure 1 when you can let your opponent invest in the navy to secure 1, and then you just take the others?
Well, that's true. That is something you can do. You can just go, okay, I'm only going to focus on land. But if you're only going to focus on land, you will have to focus on air, for example, just to give yourself enough dominance there. That's absolutely a valid strat, and it's something we might see. In terms of the weirdest builds, currently on the Axis, something that's relatively popular is if you go down the Hungary-Romania split tree and pick the Hungarian side, so Hundersvig, that gives you quite a lot of boons to cavalry. So we see a lot of like horse rushes in certain trees, which can be really fun. Or there's like, we've got the Luftwaffe ground forces, which give you like a load of paratroopers to try and drop on people, or we see some really wacky builds. Something that is like very different to normal Hoi is some very let's put it this way, varied builds. Yeah, out of the box thinking. It's slightly out of the box thinking, I'd say.
Yeah, we have 9 days left for this final arms industry, so we're going to see something here.
Yeah, we're about to start seeing the faction pick.
I'm looking at the Axis right now. Let's see. 4 days. Damn it! You've got me interested in Hoi 4. What have you done?
I mean,
how have you achieved this?
I mean, by creating a fun and interesting game mode. So the other thing as well is this mod. If you wanted to do something yourself on this, this mod does have 2v2 and 3v3 game modes. It's not just a 1v1 sport. There's multiple maps as well. Like obviously with the pick and ban phase, there's that extra external tactical element. And just for everybody watching to note on how we're running some things here. One, this stream is on a delay. That's why it took us so long to fix the earlier tech issue. That is for the security of the play and so that people don't stream snipe. So we will get to chat. However, it will be with said delay in mind, and we will attempt to catch up as soon as we can. And
we've got our first definitive pick.
Why? Okay. Yeah, we do. We've got Hundersvig. Just as I was talking about it, we got the horse. We got the cavalry coming in. And then on the other,
the allies, what they got going on? Third Shock Army.
Third Shock Army. It's because I'm in. I was like, just as a note, something you might not be aware of. If you're in any other game mode, any other map mode than the default map mode, you'll struggle to swap faction view. Because I just had a problem there. You could switch in game mode, right?
I don't have problems. I'm a professional caster.
You are a professional caster. I am the absolute fraud and failure here today. We can absolutely say that.
Just like on watch right now. Let's give some love to Vision Chat.
To be fair, I'm having a day. I am having a day at this point. But okay. So yeah, let's explain this tree in front of us, the third Shock Army tree. So one thing is, like with the Red Army tree, they have both Red Army factions have the shared final focus, what we call an ultimate, and a shared central line tree. This came in the recent rework. We've actually rejiggered how the focus tree works, but they have this unique build-up mini tree. So the third Shock Army is a mass assault doctrine tree that provides basically the 79th Rifle Company gives, it deploys 2 infantry divisions, but also boosts artillery. Stalin's Organs is 2 really big Katusha rocket barrage units who will roll around the map firing rockets everywhere. The VDV is a paratrooper division. Local militias is, you get 10 like really crappy militia divisions to just fill the line. You get some trains and some supply building under the armored railroads, and then you get some close air support on the bottom right. It capstones out with all of our mini trees capstone out with a change of their nation's like leader who provides various benefits. In this case, it's army organization, reinforce rate, encirclement penalty, and it also spawns in a railway gun. Each tree is designed in a way that they have kind of a theme, but they also have something we call a key piece. In this tree, it's the Stalin's Organs. It's those 2 Katusha divisions. Basically, we want to be watching how the player utilizes them. We've seen some very, very effective use of those in other games, but that's kind of just the tree. And then in the center, the Soviet tree is all about, you get 20 submarines under Red October. You get some trucks and mechanized with the Ural Automotive Plant, as well as some production cost reductions. You get production cost reductions then for fighters under Red Pilots, and also you can allow women in the Air Force. And then right at the end, No Step Back is all about, taking less damage, a little bit more stability, a little bit more attack. And what we're going to see here is a lot of troops on the field. Mass assault, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a human wave tactic with this tree.
My favorite way of fighting, though.
Really? Yeah. There's that.
What date does it kick off?
Well, if you go into the decisions tab, you can actually see a live countdown. We have 41 days now until war.
Fantastic.
So we're actually not that far. Other things that we haven't been able to cover, but players are going to be doing, there's also ongoing intelligence. They're spying on each other, trying to get intel that way, try and guess each other's production lines. We're seeing from the Axis a pretty strong production line. They're actually investing into fighters and planes. Outside of that, it's a very normal build for infantry, whereas the Allies, they're following a very similar tree, actually.
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar.
Yeah.
Oh, I panicked then. I was about to say it's not too dissimilar, and then I thought you were going to say, oh no, it's completely different. Can I ask something, Nick?
Go for it.
I have a question. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I apologize.
No. Absolutely.
As Stalin's organs are deployed. So it looks like the Allies have 4 cruisers. Well, sorry, 3 cruisers, 1 3 heavy cruisers, 1 battleship, and the Axis does not have that. Did that come through a mission tree?
So yes, each of the top trees have, like when you pick the Red Army at the top, there says actually you get talented young officers, which is a bonus, and you also get the Soviet fleet. So each of the main overarching picks also have some elements to them. The downside of Hungary-Romania is neither of them really had a navy in World War II, so you don't really get a naval pick. And in fact, the naval pick for this tree is in their center cooperative branch. We're really close to war, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but the Hunter's victory is about trucks, tanks, but mostly horses and production. And that's what we're going to be seeing here. Hungarian cavalry being brought in. I'm surprised Legacy of Attila has not been taken. That's actually where a lot of the cavalry bonuses come in. So getting that late into the war is going to be nerve-wracking, I have to say. We're also seeing a 20-width cavalry division design coming up for our Axis player. And they're essentially going to try and horde rush. They're going to be Zerg rushing this
I am immediately in favor of the Axis, and please don't take that out of context. But like, I love seeing cavalry charges. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's the play. Okay, so we've got war in 15 days. So, I mean, basically nothing has happened definitive thus far. But if you had to pick one player right now, irrespective of previous performances, who are you picking? Just from the setup alone.
From the setup alone, I'm looking at this. We've got air already being trained by the Allies. Let's see how the Axis are doing. Planes, let's go for a division count as well. 45 divisions compared to 55 for the Allies. Allies do also have some special forces. They're making focus. They're actually looking to go for the Gotland VP point as well. I think the initial planning and setup, I'm going to give this to the Allies. That being said, I think the horse rush could catch our ally player out of position.
Absolutely is. You know already, as a veteran of HOI4, in 5 days, we're about to see a flood of horses.
Yes, we are absolutely about to see that. Something I'm just double checking.
You're concerned by something?
No, I'm not concerned. I'm actually, I'm going to flip this to your POV and let you have a look as the war commences.
Here we go. All right, we're off. The horses flooding across. This is what you want to see. Wait, what? Are the Allies just not moving? No, they are. It turns out men are a lot slower than horses.
Yes, but they paradropped onto Memel, stopping the horse advance.
That's not going to last that long. I mean, the last standing, but surely horses just go around. Oh, no, they're snaking to it. My bad. I do apologize. Surely the horse is just going to get there. I mean, they probably won't hold. Is he doing Attila yet? Okay,
no.
Now he's doing Legacy of Attila.
So he hasn't done Legacy of Attila, and our allied player has managed to rush his 2 key pieces, those 2 Stalin's organs, those Katusha rocket barrages straight to Memel to reinforce, which means that province is just not going to get taken while both of those are there. However, our Axis player is moving their troops around. What we're gonna have to be really, really fast on the ball with what's going on here. We will naturally see the game sort of settle around the 2-minute mark once these battle lines fully get drawn out. But whilst everyone's claiming these territories, Gotland does fall to the Allies, and we are noticing now a VP bleed on the Axis. It's 3 VPs to 2, and the points have started decreasing.
I don't see a way through for the Axis right now. Obviously, things will change, but I mean, if the strategy was to rush early and not having 3 of the 5 VPs and getting that bleed early is really not going to be that great. It does look like the Allies are entrenched in Ulm. They're actually pushing away from... No, they're just holding supply hub. Nice. And they're just going to sit on Gotland as well. I don't think the Axis have any ability to counter that at all. So Gotland is lost. And okay, your initial pick of the Allies might be a slightly better one.
And I'll go through my thought process there as to why, and I think it comes down to combined arms. They've made that focus not only on the planes. Yeah. They've picked a faction that gives them a rudimentary navy against a faction that hasn't got a single naval pick. They're
green air as well.
They have green air. They put in paratroopers to give themselves that leg up. I would not be surprised if this Allied player put a spy network early on the Axis, saw that they went Romania, saw that they were going to be attempting to rush, and countered that by putting those paratroopers in place to stop the advance.
So I think that's exactly what happened. I was going to mention that earlier, but frankly, I forgot. I was too excited in the cavalry side of things. That's exactly what happened.
Something else for you to now look at, though. Hungary does have its key piece on the board. There, you'll see that there is a tank division floating around on the Hungarian side. This is a big 32 with medium tank division that should pack a punch. That being said, if the Allies really dig in across the river, it could be a bit of a problem. Yeah.
The supply is horrifying at the moment. 6%, 25% attrition. Yeah, okay. Tanks don't need to eat, but they sure do need to drink fuel, and it's not getting any. Yeah. Now, you might not know this, but I actually did the initial supply tutorials before this supply system was put in, so I know a thing or two about supply. At least I pretend to. And the supply situation definitely favors the Allies at the moment. Please don't counter me, because if I got that wrong, it's going to be really embarrassing.
No, you're absolutely correct. And
I'm so correct.
I do know you did those tutorials because I made the thumbnails for them.
Nice.
Way back in the day.
All those years ago.
All those many years ago.
Now. This is what it built up to.
This is the culmination.
Like are going to get... No, they're holding still. Look like they were going to get pushed out for a second.
This is the culmination of all those years.
You have to think. Okay, the Axis has to do something here.
Yeah. So this is what I was leaning to in my casting. It was I said that we will see the battle slow for a moment. This always happens after the initial push because someone will gain an upper hand, and it's up to the other person to start redefining how they have their units, re-upping their industry, changing what they're producing to be able to gain extra stats to do something. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see the Axis design up, say, either some more close air support, maybe some flame tanks, anything that would give them stat bonuses trying to cross this river. But in the meantime, the Allies aren't actually letting up. They're making a bit of a go of it here.
Well, he might know that he has a 5,000, 6,000 equipment, infantry equipment difference here.
Yes.
Which, frankly, I mean, in terms of the equipment differences, look, the Allies have no need to push. They are bleeding them. But if they push them from now, I mean, that's what I would do personally. It might be ill-advised, but if I was the Allies in this situation, I'd do exactly what he's doing and start trying to take more and more territory going forward, because that supply situation is not going to be getting better. It's not going to be getting any worse for the Axis. I think they're in their weakest possible position at this point.
Yep, I absolutely agree with you.
There you go. There's a power drop behind lines as well.
Oh, wow.
No, it looked like he was trying to take it, but there happened to be some horses there.
No, but this is excellent use of those paratroopers. Something we actually notice with less potent players is once they've done their initial power drop, they'll just leave their paratroopers for the entire game. They will barely utilize them until they're desperate. I love seeing active use of everything you've got to try and gain the upper hand. A key focus of this map, if you look at the supply map mode very, very briefly, Gordono, Majamapol, and Kunas. These three locations are like key supply like locations on this map. That owning either one, like Kunas and Grodono specifically, will allow you to pivot between the Lick and the Wilno VPs. So they're like almost the battlegrounds, the things that you need to fight over if you want to have the map dominance and the map control over those VPs. So dropping those paratroopers there to try and soften up that supply hub, even make a push for it, that's excellent use.
There's a chance no, they've been reinforced now. Okay, there was a chance for a second that the horses break and run, leaving Grodno in the hands of the allies, but he has reinforced that. Yep, there you go, the paratroopers. I think it's rather unfortunate. I think that that the allies player was not anticipating any resistance in Grodno, so it would have been a fantastic province to take. But frankly, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it just so happened to have some guys there. I mean, it makes sense to protect your suppliers, right? Okay.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Axis player does take Hungarian Panthers, so we're going to see hopefully some tech. But again, the supply situation as is not looking great industry-wise, construction-wise, switching from converting civilian factories to military factories, and that deficit has gotten a little bit better, but conversion of factories is very in the meta right now. It is a huge focus point for like the macro game of commanders. It's something our various players tend to do very often. It's my hot take that I don't like it. I don't like that they convert it, because I feel like if a game goes exceedingly long, converting away all of your civilian factories leaves you wide open when like land gets destroyed, if you need to rebuild stuff, if you need to build more factories, I feel like you limit your IC too hard. But it's early game. It's early game like bonuses for but against late game gain. But I'm a kind of which makes sense. But like you just said, it's early game benefits, and the Axis has to do something. So converting factories immediately is probably a good idea, because sitting like this is not going to win you the game.
Yeah, I'm just going to fade now back over to my screen for a moment, and I'm going to take a little bit of a roundup on the tech. We are seeing rocket artillery being teched now for the Axis. That's probably they're looking for the extra soft attack there to try and push over. Allies are currently floating a research. We're probably going to see them flick this research to try and get concentrated industry a little earlier, maybe even their streamlined production. Do you know about tech juggling?
I can tell you about real juggling.
Oh, okay. Well, let me quickly explain for tech juggling for you and the viewers. Basically...
No, explain for the viewers, not for me. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So what you do is you leave a technology or research open. It stores up 30 days of research, and then you flick one of your already active researches into it, reducing it by 30 days. Essentially allowing you to use 2 research slots on the one piece of technology.
Yeah, I did know that. I did. I just didn't know it was called change juggling. That's an act. I don't want to get too defensive, but I did genuinely know that.
No, when I saw your mouth drop, I was like, oh no, he actually does know about this. He absolutely does know about this. Yeah.
You know what I really want to see in this game? Big naval invasion, straight to Danzig.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think it'd be fun.
Okay.
No strategic benefit. It just would be fun. I mean, if you're gonna do it anyway, you'd go into Königsberg, but I think the Navy's going to come into play. Mark my words, the Navy's going to come into play. That's a certified Laith prediction right there that we can go with. Okay, I want to see on the Allied side what are they doing. The chain break. What the hell does that do?
So that gives them a railway gun and brings in their commander focus. The railway guns are super useful on tight maps like this. Obviously, they provide that extra bombardment bonus on all defenses. Yeah, they do become communist. They're on the Soviet tree. They do become communist. We are also seeing the end cap, the commander focus, coming in for our Hungarian player, which hilariously, because it puts Horthy in charge, it does give them fleet coordination, even though they don't have a navy yet. But like, there's little memes of that. Like, for example, the tree and the allies that has Douglas MacArthur, they get access to a nuclear weapon. I don't think in the history of commanders anyone has actually ever dropped that nuke, but it's funny because
until today.
Until today. Legitimately, I think I said I would. I haven't set what I'm gonna do, but if someone in the grand final, like the €5,000 prize final, drops a nuke on another player, there's got to be some sort of award for it.
Midge will match the money that's the prize money. That's so generous of you.
Oh,
That's
God.
great. That's fantastic.
I'm already paying the first time. Oh, Christ. It's wow. Actually, we've got a really big assault attempt coming in from the Axis. There was 4 fronts trying to push into this one tile, but the 9 divisions there were absolutely holding. Something I want to check out then is the composition of these allied troops. These are only 14 widths. Johnny's dug in with loads of really small infantry units. He's just using the terrain. He's built up forts. He's looking for a full hold here. He's hoping to just bleed his opponent dry.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the dominant position. He doesn't really need to do anything but react. I mean, sometimes being reactive isn't the greatest. I mean, we see the supply situations now somewhat fixed as units have been spread along the front line. That tank division hasn't come quite into play yet. But I mean, if you can see, if you tap into the axis, you can see in terms of the equipment side of things, it's not too hot. I mean, the infantry equipment side, fine. Presumably got that from a focus. Not building any new troops, but certainly not reinforcing the ones he has right now either with anything meaningful.
Yeah, and I was
investing in air.
Yeah, I was just checking out air actually, and if we look at the air trades, allies have lost 7 fighters to 18 enemy fighters. The real key thing I want to show off here is enemy troops bombed. Look at that. There is 48 damage being done a day roughly at the moment, which means CAS is being absolutely dominant from the allies. It's really going to be the thing that's stopping most of the advances here. Every battle obviously will have a CAS modifier on top of it, and if it's uncontested, it's just flat damage that the Axis just can't block.
Yeah, I like if you're the Axis situation, what do you do? Oh, it looks like he's trying to he's probing over here in the west. There we go. He's now got the tank involved.
Yep.
It can't be pierced. Now we're seeing the allies shuffle around to try and resolve that, but no, pitting across the front. It's going to be costly if this doesn't pull off, and I don't think it will. This is going to be very costly indeed.
So I do think our Axis play is doing the right thing in terms of how they've adapted their build slightly. They've got rocket artillery coming in for extra soft attack that they want to put in as support. They are now going to try and contest the air. I'm not sure if they should be putting the factories that they are on CAS as of yet. I think they're better off just grabbing those fighters and trying to get as many fighters out as possible to make sure that the air flips, right, and then go for the CAS if they really need it. My other shout would be the fact that yes, they've got they get some heavy tanks from this division. I would actually destroy this division. Get the tanks from this division and put them into my cavalry divisions, just so each cavalry division had a piece of armor within them. So this 20 width would become, say, a 22 width with a medium tank there. They have just that little bit more breakthrough armor, piercing, hard attack, soft attack going on in. I'd also then, from their focus tree, the shared Hungary-Romania tree does also give them an extra 150 tanks. I would be rushing for that and getting those tanks into production. I would start producing just a few tanks, and even so, some medium flame tanks, because flame tanks actually have an attack bonus across rivers. So that's the key thing. The final thing I'd probably do is I'd tech some Marines. Marines also get a bonus crossing rivers and marshlands. What is Gradona? What is this? This is a river. This is a massive river, and there's some marshlands here. They need those attack bonuses if they want to destabilize a very entrenched allies.
Very succinct answer. There you go.
Yeah,
it's perfect. I think crushing through Wilno is going to be the key. I disagree with you completely.
I agree. Wilno is the weak spot. They do have a foothold here already across the river. They've just, this location already has forts put in. It's an urban tile. They're going to need some serious soft attack if they want to push in there. One of the things they could go for is actually towards the end of the industrialization tree. If you look, there's the schools of warfare. What these are boons that you can give to generals. Basically, these unlock decisions where you can upgrade your generals. And the the school of siege warfare would actually allow you to put engineer on one of your generals, which would allow you to push for urban assault or specialist or artillerist and give you bonuses when attacking a city. So I think that's a must, like arming up the general there, a general there to be able to take that tile, I think is a good thing. And honestly, if I'm the Allies player, I know we're resting, I know we're protecting this as a defensive line. I would 100% be trying to push the Axis across the river here. I think this hold that they've got on is stable, but it's not quite stable enough. I would like to see all of these horses back across the river. Then I'd be feeling comfortable, you know.
Mitch, can I point out something that I've discovered?
Yeah, go for it.
It does look like the Axis is going for Naval, which I think is probably quite a good pick, because if not pushing this front line, well, what they need to be doing is getting a victory point, right? Which is Nav Gotland.
Yep.
And hold that. Right?
Yeah.
They're also planning a naval invasion. You seeing this?
I am now, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be very interesting. I don't know it's gone. That's a shame.
The real question will be if they can grab naval superiority. They're going to need they're going to need to build some ships for that, and they are going to need to grab the Italian fleet that they get from their focus tree. Will it be enough to counter the Soviet? Quite possibly. Soviets don't have a very strong fleet in this. The real question is time. We're now at 281 VPs remaining. Another note for those of you who might not have seen commanders before, the longer the VP points are bleeding, the faster they tick down. So whilst we're currently on 1 a day, 2 a day, this will eventually scale all the way up to 5 a day if they're not careful. And the amount of VP points in a person's control increase or decrease at that speed. But then again, our Axis player only needs to flip one of these points, Vilno, Memel, or Gotland, two of which they're kind of at the front door of, and the VP bleed stops, and it starts ticking on the Allies.
It has to be Gotland right now. Do you see there was an aborted attempt in just east of Memel, but there's that chain breaker railway gun, which is beautifully situated, and it's helping out a lot. There's nothing really much they could do at this point to break anything. Have you seen the reinforcement around Wilno now? Mm-hmm. Like these, they might be 14 wits, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a huge stack.
There's equipment to be shared around. So frankly, there's no way across the river right now. You have to start thinking about Gotland.
Sorry, just to cut in, the Axis did just kill one of the Allied agents, though, which means there is now an intel advantage flipping towards the Axis. Intel is another way that you can break these lines. Something I'm upset to see the Axis player not doing is look at the placement of their spies. Right now, they are in the capital of the Allies. Did you know that putting a spy on the front line reduces the enemy entrenchment in that area?
I did.
Yeah, so
I'm so proud of myself.
This is really bad spy micro. If these spies were on the front line, I feel like crossing the river might be just that little bit easier, especially now that there's an intel advantage because there's less enemy spies to counter your own espionage.
Crossing the river just hasn't been even remotely feasible. I mean, I'd love to hype it up, but I really I haven't seen anything at this point. Maybe my untrained eyes are deceiving me. I haven't seen anything to suggest the river can be broken. Like even with like you say, there needs to be the Marines. There needs to be all these advantages specifically to target going across the river. But I'm not seeing it right now. I'm just seeing on the Axis side over here. We see more cavalry divisions and more infantry divisions. I just don't see more divisions helping against the clustered 14 wits. There's a lot of guns on that line.
Yeah, and this is the thing. That's the detriment of cavalry. Cavalry are bad at crossing rivers a little bit. They are... I think bad's actually an understatement. Shocking. They don't get any modifiers when trying to cross river. It's like probably the worst unit you could use to try and cross the river with. Like I said, pivot into a few special forces, a couple of Marines, just to act as a spearhead for the cavalry to push through, I think would be better. But no, our allied player is kind of textbook playing this. They've realized they've had the advantage. This is actually kind of an old school early season 4 of the mod meta when Mass Assault got its first rework. Mass Assault used to be the worst doctrine tree in the the game. We reworked how doctrines work, compacted them all so they're all more feasible to complete within the time span of a game. And Mass Assault became the only thing anyone ever did. So much so that they neglected the faction bonuses that they got towards a tree and just switched every single tree towards Mass Assault. It was ridiculous. We've since adapted that, but this style of lots and lots of little infantry units stacked up in forts defensively holding a river is classic of seasons back at the end of season 3, beginning of season 4. And yeah, it's tough to beat. You really have to start.
Just cut in for a sec.
Yeah.
Something. The air situation is like, it looks like now there's a concerted air battle, but it's not gone the Axis way. They launched for a second, it looked like it was going to be teetering. They are trading, but unfavorably, and it does little the allies, and now added in some extra planes. So it looked like they did try to make it work.
If you open that air map mode again, and make sure you have clicked our fighters versus enemy fighters lost, it will actually show you on a graph as well.
That is not helpful.
Is it not? Like, and you're on days? Yeah, it should be.
I was on months. It's not useful.
Yeah.
So being outstruck 2-1 and not great, especially when the enemy is better off than you. So I hate to say it, but floundering. That's the word that comes to mind.
Looking at casualty stats, though, the Allies and the Axis are relatively even. This is actually showing, therefore, a little bit of a sign of, I would say, passiveness and passive play in terms of the Axis. With the Allies having such a strong hold, you'd kind of expect the Axis to be trying to weaken those defenses by, the Lord Farquaad, some of you may die, but that is a risk I'm willing to take kind of element.
He's preserving the lives of his troops.
Yeah, so we're only seeing 115k to 130k, which, it's preventing their, political power spend or going up on manpower, but that's actually kind of a low loss count for this stage of the game, especially with 160 VPs, 170 VPs left.
The Axis are not only on the offensive, they're also outnumbered by about 100,000 men in the field.
That's true.
So it's again, it feels like it's not. I don't want to be too critical here. Like, this is a much better player than I'll ever be. But I'm not too sure. It looks like now going down the medium tanks, and there you go. The Italian naval support will be after that as a fleet of the battleship, and we might see, just as the bleed approaches critical levels, we might see a play for Scotland. And I think that's your only hope here, and that does change the game.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
then suddenly it's the inverse. However, this front line's not changing. We have level 5 forts in some areas.
Yep.
We have a level 2 fort, and we'll know. I don't know where the weak spot is. I don't think there isn't a weak spot anymore. Backed up by this.
And
by the railway gun.
5 is the maximum fort level we have in the mod. Like, we don't have level 10 forts. Level 5 is the max. So this is as entrenched as this player could get. The only way he could be more entrenched would be he'd be playing like the Army of the Maginot. Like, that's.
Can I shout out the guys defending in around Danzig, holding some ports. Also shout out the one cavalry division down in the southeast, really making sure that the wasteland doesn't come out to bite them.
Look, so you say that, but these are actually placed for a really good reason.
No. What's the reason? Tell me, please.
Obviously, with the Allies having Gotland, the Axis player is expecting the fact that the Allies might have naval dominance, therefore they might naval invade, therefore they need to leave some troops behind to prevent a capitulation that way. And then the southeast. The one in the southeast, if you look at the supply hubs, paratroopers landing in, say, Pinsk could cut off the entire southern flank in terms of supply. If say, Bliosk and Pinsk went, you'd lose supply for your entire front line on this whole right hand side.
So he is, in the words of the youth, just vibing. Oh, it looks like the Gotland troops are split out, and there also now is air in the lower Baltic Sea.
That's good to know.
I think the Allies player has anticipated that. We also see 4 fleets on convoy raiding, 1 on strike force. I think he sees it coming.
Yep.
I think he's absolutely seeing it coming. Again, we're now approaching 122. health points, 121. It's quite literally ticking down. The man is watching the blood seep out of his open wounds. Oh, here we go. Something might be happening. I think he's trying to get naval superiority in the lower Baltic Sea in order to get off the naval invasions to then open up a front behind, which I think has to happen, right? Oh, side for the Allied nations is fully decrypted.
Okay.
There we go. Naval invasions look like they're going to start going up. I don't know if he has superiority for this, thanks to that air, and obviously the Navy can just dip down. But that would be very useful because getting a couple of cavalry divisions and just sort of wreaking chaos behind. Some of these troops have to then leave the front line, maybe leaving the river line weakened. He has deployed a couple more. Okay, Italian naval support, there it is. Now we're going to see a play. Now we see a play, surely. Yep, low Baltic Sea. There we go. Naval superiority has been established. The naval invasions are launching. Will the Allies be able to respond? They don't have anything ready. No, they've got 1 or 2 divisions that are thinking about it, but nothing landing, nothing turning up just yet. The horses do successfully land and are immediately attacked on both sides.
But
yeah,
you see, no, this is excellent. It was
I do.
Yeah, I was going to say that this. Oh, okay. For a moment there, those got crushed so quickly. But the Allied player really racked it. And there's a phone in the towel. That is game 1 going towards John Loves Microplastics. Laith, how was your first Commanders experience?
That's good. That's exciting.
It is, right?
Don't get me wrong. I would have liked to have seen the Axis dance a little bit more, for my entertainment. But I'm glad he did actually go for a Hail Mary in terms of the naval evasions. Otherwise, we would have sat here bleeding for this. Something had to happen. But now, he's stoked up. He's ready. So how does this work in terms of the next game?
So they're going to host up match 2, and what we do now is we pull them up here and we chat to them and we get the next map pick. So
fantastic. Okay.
Yes. Hello, GG. Yeah. So, are you guys ready to go straight to a game 2?
Okay. I am, yeah. I just see Navy go yellow for like half a second, and I'm like, oh shit.
So Sky, you have you can host, and also you have map pick. What map are you picking, sir?
Okay, 1 second.
No problem.
I thought you were gonna try power drop, not naval invasion. I can't lie.
Did you see the naval invasion coming? Were you like at all worried about that?
I was worried about paratroopers.
Okay.
I did not expect a naval invasion. Because I just see 40 on air, and I don't think to look down slightly to the Navy thing. Like,
that's critical error.
But I constantly had divisions training, so even if he did, I could just force to.
It was great to see you suddenly start clicking around in divisions. Just like react.
I had troops ready to force deploy if a naval invader to try to cap me though. So
you're going for across the Rhine?
Yeah.
Okay. John, what faction would you like on across the Rhine?
Let me. I'm just joining in now.
No problem. Also remember the bans from the first match up were I am trying to recall. It was we had a whole conversation about them in the it was 5th Guards Tank Army, and I don't remember who the Axis ban was. Do you remember who the Axis ban was?
Okay.
Well, you guys banned them, so boys, come on.
It was 5th Guards Tank Army, and I wanna say it was 4th Wehrmacht.
No, it was the Martin of Poe.
No,
was it Poe? Was it Poe?
Yeah, it was Poe.
Okay.
Yes.
It was Poe. It was Poe. It was Poe. Okay. So you're going to pick allies. Okay. Cool. Remember to increase those bands to 2, and those bands remain. So 5th Guards are banned, and Poe are banned. Let's get in game.
2 bands or 1?
Yeah, 2 bands. 2 bands. But the bands from the previous round remain.
We'll run it up. Good luck.
Now we get to see the nice band screen as well. Right. Let's see what your bands are, guys. Start with the Axis.
Last time? There we
Yep.
go.
So I'm betting first, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Third Shock and fourth Wehrmacht. Okay, good luck,
He's
everybody.
finally read my name.
Okay, Laith, we're in. Welcome on over to yet another game within
I'm ready for this.
Commanders.
Now I understand what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
you're very here.
I'd like to point out to everyone, it is currently midnight here. I've been up since like 4 a.m. and I've never felt so alive in my life. I'm actually I don't want to sound sarcastic. I'm actually really enjoying this. This is great.
But yes, hello everybody, and welcome to another leg of our Commanders semi-final. Hang on, I just need to update the scoreboard and to see who's playing which faction, because currently our overlay is wrong and it should feel wrong. Yes, welcome back to Commanders. They're on the same factions, but
Yes.
I've just got to, up, just bonk, do the little score point. There it is. It's appeared on the screen.
Would you like me to explain what's going on?
Sure. Do you wanna sum up what Commanders is and what we're about to see?
Okay. Right.
Give it a go.
I'm not gonna say it with the same speed as you do because I like to enjoy my words. and
Sure,
taste them a
go
little
for
bit.
it.
But Commanders is a 1v1 event, right? This is a specific part of an overarching event. Today we've already had one game of these two where the allies, and that was Mr. Microplastics himself, did defeat the Axis. Do you want me to explain, like, do you want me to go through what the format is properly?
Yeah, go for the format each time.
As if we haven't done it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it really it works as well, especially if people are joining in for the first time. They're seeing this for the first time. It's like I feel like it's always useful.
Okay, sure. So we have these focus trees, and we have bands at the start of every round. So we have now 4 total bands because 2 were banned before, and this is where the meat of the gameplay in terms of the initial picks are chosen. For example, you go on the French forces, you pick this liberation, and that has a specific, should we say, specific flavor. Like before, we saw some Hungarian cavalry action, which did not fare too well. So I doubt we'll see that one again. We have up here 500 and 500, and that is because on this map we have 5. Is it 5 or is it 2?
So it's always 5. It's always 500 life points, but the amount of
3
VPs
points.
changes. So yeah,
Okay,
you see the
so
3
we have
circles.
3 VPs,
Yes.
and if you have a majority of them, so in this case 2, then you'll start to bleed your opponent's life. Once that hits 0, they lose, and so you'll see an initial mad rush, and then frontline will settle a little bit as one individual inevitably will have hold of 2 of these, or maybe even 3 of these victory points, and therefore sit a little bit and wait for their opponent to tick down whilst they desperately try and reclaim that which is lost to them.
Yes. The
pretty good
VPs,
stuff,
this is the map across the Rhine. It is a 3 VP map. The VPs on this map are Amsterdam, Cologne, and Frankfurt. Now, the key thing here is Amsterdam is, whilst on the Axis side of the Rhine, it is closer to the Allies, so it's kind of like the neutral VP. Cologne is on the Allies side of the Rhine, Frankfurt on the Axis, and it becomes a battle essentially around the Amsterdam-Cologne region. Frankfurt normally is pretty safe. However, the key things to look out for on this map, the key ways you cross the river, are the points of Koblenz, Bonn, Dusseldorf, and Utrecht. Actually, either side of those VPs. They are kind of the pivot points. There's also something known as the Utrecht pocket trick, which I will explain to you. Basically, because of the lake tile to the north in the is this the Gulf of Holland? Basically, there's
Friesland.
Yes, it's Friesland. Anyway, this Friesland area, if you go up into Utrecht, there is a way for you to get your troops trapped and wiped out against this lake tile. So there's a little bit of a tricky situation to navigate there. The key features are the Rhine. You have to work out a way to either hold or cross the Rhine. There's obviously naval access along the coast, but there's no naval VP on this one. We'll see a lot more land armies, and I'm also expecting us to see something most likely we'll see a lot more focus on maybe some tanks and flamethrower tanks to try and cross the Rhine. Also, air becomes pretty important on this map normally. This map is like the classico. Like this is the go-to. This is the Dust 2 of like of commanders. This is the map that everyone goes back to every time. It's the second map we ever built for this mod, and yeah, it is the one that the players love. It's by far not the easiest anymore. It's probably one of the slowest maps because of the Rhine, and if you don't know how to cross the Rhine, name dropping the map once more, it becomes really, really difficult and can become really stalemated. That being said, it's the one that a lot of players have had the most practice on, and therefore it gets picked a lot. I will be intrigued. Yes?
Can I ask a question about the future of the stream?
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to be around to give insightful commentary like that when it's me and Hawk, or are we just going to...
I want to watch you suffer, but no, of course I will be here.
Okay,
Otherwise the stream wouldn't be able to stay seen.
Especially when it's talking to the players about what they're going to be picking and banning. Because, you know, we're not going to know that, and I don't want to cost anyone. Anyway, the game is starting, and we have 240 days until war. Now, we're not going to know what they've started to do, but I'm just going to soul read, right?
Okay.
Sky on the Axis is going to win this one. I heard pain, like genuine pain in his voice from his loss last time. He was disappointed in himself, and that is the voice of a man who knows he can do better.
Sure, yeah.
That's my pick. Oh, he's also immediately doing, that's the Allies. The Allies are immediately converting the military factories. Let's see, the Axis doing that as well. Yeah, okay, so everyone's doing it.
So some key things I'm teaching you now, so that when you and Hawk take over, you have a bit more insight. Key things to look for in the really, really early build-up is in the research, if you see heavy MG or survivability studies coming in for either of the players, that means that they're going to go for air. If you're not, they're going for a relatively standard build, where they're probably going to focus on getting their mid-tier industrial complex, and then around the 150-day mark, that's when we see the industry trees tend to get completed and people start taking their initial faction picks. I'm noticing here the Axis have taken a heavy MG, so they are going to be going into planes. And it's also of note, something to also look out for is if anyone goes concentrated over dispersed. Dispersed currently is the meta, but if they're going to go concentrated, it might be that they're going to go for a later game build, as concentrated has better factory output over a longer period of a game. So they might be going for, say, a faction that does... that snowballs, such as some of the French trees right now are pretty snowballing factions. Some of the Axis tree, the Germany trees tend to be a little bit snowbally towards the late game because of their industry output. Yeah. What element of Hearts of Iron, you as a player? I want to see if I can work out what faction might be your favorite. Are you someone who likes tanks? Do you like
infantry?
You like infantry? Okay.
Yes. No naval, no tanks, infantry.
Sure. Then a really fun tree for you actually might be the Allied Tree Combined Operations Headquarters, which is all about Special Forces infantry, and it does pretty much nothing else. It gives you really, really, really powerful Special Forces, and all of them are infantry based. So yeah, that might be a tree that you want to try. It's
from the Special Forces and Hawk later.
Okay. It's currently out of the meta, but yeah.
I don't do Special Forces. You didn't hear me right.
Okay, you just want...
I do infantry.
Okay, then you want Communist China, what is just all about putting men to the lines.
Yes. Now I can win.
Okay, you want to lead from the Zap Brannigan Big Book of War. I see.
I think we should regress back to World War I tactics. I think that's personally was peak warfare. Boys, slowly walk towards the machine guns. Don't worry, the front line will cover you with their bodies. That's my kind of warfare. If you haven't slowly walked towards a machine gun nest, did you even live? You know? It's crazy. Your silence is definitely...
It just makes me think of the Blackadder quote with the whole don't forget your nightstick, Lieutenant. Oh, sorry, so wouldn't want to face the Hun machine gun without that.
That's your plan. Cunning as a fox that's just been named Professor at Cunning at Oxford University. And we'll see if either of them have been named Professor at Cunning at Oxford University as we finish up final in arms industry expansion, and we'll see what picks they go for.
So we're not going to be able to see a direct repeat of last time from John because the Soviet faction has been completely banned off. Both sides of the Soviet faction have gone. So if they wanted to directly try to adapt their tree and like you do a very, very similar thing, we might see a Chinese pick. However, I don't know that that's going to be the case because no, we have a French forces pick coming in. And my gut here is that John is probably going to try something on Army of the Maginot. Army of the Liberation Français is a kind of a tank and motorized tree, whereas Army of the Maginot is a bit more like the previous faction we saw. It does have a heavy tank within the tree, but it's also about, you know, a lot of troop division recovery rate. It gets railway guns. Actually, it gets 2 railway guns in this tree. It's got a lot of manpower, but we're about to see that final commander lock in. No, I'm wrong. He's gone for the other one. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. We're seeing the Army of the French Liberation come in. This is a medium tank tree. This gives you 1 medium tank division, which also has medium tank destroyers in there. It has 2 Moroccan Mountaineer divisions. You get the Forces Françaises de l'Interior, so it's French Forces of the Interior, which is bonuses to your reconnaissance. You get enemy equipment capture ratio, damage to garrisons, and your own and bonuses to your operatives. The Army of Africa, which gives you weekly manpower. Citroen, which gives you mechanized and motorized in stockpile and reduced production on those. You get a bonus tank variant and 600 tanks down on the Sumer S-35s, and then at the end, Colonel Motors, war support, motorized attack, and fuel consumption. The middle tree for France is some bonuses to armor technology with the legacy of French innovation. Cross Lorraine is more weekly manpower as well as some support equipment every month. You then get a navy right down the bottom of the tree, and then you cap out with Vive la France, which is all about recruitable population and production efficiency. But that recruitable population factor is then reduced again because it puts you to total mobilization for free. That's kind of just the tree. It's tanks and people and production. That's kind of the idea there.
Midge.
Yeah.
He's doing it again.
Oh no.
He's
Oh
doing
no.
it again.
Oh
That's not a
no.
good- that's
Oh
not a good
no.
matchup.
Okay, we got hungry.
Against, no, bicycle infantry against tanks. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know about this one.
I don't feel too good, Mr. Stark. This is
No, this could have been a soul read, but and forgive my untrained eyes here, but I feel like this is not gonna go well. Have you seen the tanks on the other side?
yeah.
There's like 25 factories, 26 factories on tanks, and it's a good tank. Like, look at it.
Yeah, this is currently
25 soft attack, like,
this is
it's a good
better
tank.
than this is an off-standard design actually from the meta design, mainly because it's got that easy maintenance in it to increase the reliability. If people are doing Space Marine builds, they tend to just say balls to the survivability, just give me the armor. But this is actually a really intrepid tank. We might actually be able to see some really good tank play. The other thing of note with the French tree that he's picked, the tank design that you get spawned in has tank destroyers in it. It has tank destroyer tanks in it. So it's going to counter the Hungarian key piece tank division that will get put in.
Can I go one step further? Did you say flame tanks were good against across the river?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So what's going to happen here is the horses are going to get and the motorists are going to get to the VPs first, try and hold them, and then just get dislodged, and they have no way of taking it back.
Yep.
Although the air situation, I feel like the Axis has the advantage there.
Quite possibly.
And
yeah.
I feel like if he can, like that I think is going to be the difference. If he has good cast, we saw how effective that was last time. If he has good cast, there might be a chance.
Cass is
But
king.
that's what he's got 9 on cast right now, so he will have air superiority. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop tanks, like without having something behind them. I just don't think that the horses are going to be able to do too much, Midge.
No. They might not. Again, it's going to come down to the build. It's going to be down to positioning, because the one thing that the horse faction will be able to do, most likely, is to get a few more troops on the field faster. So if they use a division advantage, let's double check if they've actually got a division advantage right now. They've got 42 in the field versus 23. That's almost double right now. Sure, and our allied player isn't actually even spawning more in right now. So if they manage to fill the gaps and actually get round the allied forces, the horses will win purely in a war of maneuver.
Do you think now there's something interesting that could happen here? I mean, the war is in literally 28 days. There is a chance. There is a chance that that they could progress so far that it gives them an advantage that is not overrun by the end of the game. Like I feel like if he can force a really good position before those tanks come to
oh yeah,
come
absolutely.
to ruin his dreams, this could be good then.
Yeah,
although we do see a naval. Like, there are some naval exercises going on, so there's going to be naval superiority for the allies, I think. I haven't seen if the Axis have any.
Possibly, or currently the allies are training that navy to get navy XP to possibly build marines, and because the Marine Special Forces tree uses naval XP now. Okay. So that also might be a key focus. Anyway, 3 VPs are about to be on the line. We've got 19 days now before the war starts. Predictions.
Why are my hands getting clammy?
Oh, I mean,
I still back my guy. I still back my guy. I think he's going to do it.
Honestly, I feel like this is a better map for it. This map is slightly Axis favored in terms of the river positioning. This will be really good if the Axis grab Cologne first. If the Axis gain Cologne first and get that VP on the allied side of the river, they'll start the ticking faster and they'll put themselves in a really good position. However, if the allies get so much as a foothold on Cologne and Amsterdam, I see this being an uphill battle again.
They won't beat. I don't think they'll beat the allies to Cologne. There's 2 motorized divisions that are just ready. They're ready to go.
There's motorized on both sides ready to go.
I know, but it's closer to the allies, so the motorized on the allies is going to get there faster, surely.
Well, it will come down to the player's click. Like, if a player,
I guess so,
it will come down to an APM click. Which is one of the other things I really love about this game mode. Sometimes, even like the worst positioning, even the worst play, can just be outdone by skill.
There's a naval invasion planned.
Oh.
Of a single cavalry next to Amsterdam.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. And he's got 2 fleets out, perhaps because he's assuming they're going to be in the English Channel if they decide to come out. Then, yeah, okay, cool. I like this. Okay, here we go. One day, and we're off.
Yep.
Now we're going to see this naval invasion launch immediately, and he should go and rush and take Amsterdam. It doesn't look like the Allies have any sort of, their navy in ports. They're not going to be able to do anything about that. Here we go.
So the Axis are off the ball first. Their troops have started moving faster, so they actually might get to Amsterdam here quicker. We do have a rush though towards Cologne. Those motorized are in Cologne. That's the foothold there. Now, if the Allies manage to get Amsterdam as well, this will look really bad. But pressure is already on Cologne. There is a tank division engaged there. The last stand already coming in on those divisions in Cologne, waiting for their troop to get up into support. The last stand, by the way, in this mod is more expensive. You click that very few and far between, and this actually might be it might break. It's going to be real close.
No, they stopped.
Stop.
That's close.
And but again,
Frankfurt and Amsterdam have been taken though.
And again, this is a really good moment here for our Hungarian player, the player playing as Hungary. They have 20 more divisions in the field. If they so much as get a single breakthrough location, they can flood those lines. They can start encircling people. And there becomes a point that no matter the strength of your divisions, if you can cut off supply, if you can surround them, then it becomes a problem. However, supply did not kick in fast enough, and they are being pushed back across the Rhine. Rotterdam now under a risky push.
Oh no, it's going further into Arnhem.
Yep. Allied player does need to be careful of this Utrecht pocket. If they're not careful, they'll get themselves encircled, counter-encircled, but...
Does Eindhoven connect up to Rotterdam?
Eindhoven connect up to Rotterdam. One
province apart, I think they do. Just trying to see for like an potential.
Yes, no? I think so. I think so.
Because it was open for a second, and I think just sort of looked like it was going to fall for just a split second. I thought maybe a maneuver was inbound. Okay, but the numbers start to tick down as the Axis gains the initial upper hand. But I have to say, it looks like a shakier position to me. I think the Allies can just walk in and take.
Yeah, Rotterdam already under threat now. Amsterdam. The Axis player needs to think about
There's a tank in Rotterdam.
There's a tank in Rotterdam. They kind of need to they need to move their tank division from Essen to counter that. They should be seeing this from their point of view.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not. They're relying on just their horses.
There's a couple of provinces that have been opened that the cavalry could have flooded into and just didn't. The click wasn't there fast enough. Like especially in this northern part, like I said, in Eindhoven and then in that province north of Eindhoven, east of Rotterdam. That province was open for a little bit of time, ready for the 7 cavalry. If they'd flooded in there, that could have been a real issue. Yeah. But as it stands, I don't think that is going to take place. As we do see on the eastern front, or southern front, I guess, we do see some movement here from the Allies to go and push
This
up
is
there.
a really risky move from the Allies, by the way. So normally, we see both players stand. So we normally see an Axis line between Ulm and Karlsruhe. They tend to not really maneuver from there. Whereas the Allies will stay on their side of the Rhine towards Hagenau, Strasbourg, Colmar, and Mulhouse. Mainly because this area between Strasbourg and Ulm, this bottom pocket, we normally see that left blank because people don't have enough troops to put on the line here. What the Allies will be doing if they're advancing down here is they begin to stretch their line way too thin, which will actually give our Axis player far more room to maneuver. And they could overextend.
They did.
We could see an overextension coming in right here and displaying exactly what I mean. See, there's an extra horse division maneuvering around these towards Freiburg. This is going to send the Allies most... They need to pin in the other directions, get double combat bonuses going on in there. This just a slightly slower APM from our Axis player. It's slightly...
The tank division up top is going to do something here. We'll see.
But you instantly see what I mean about this pocket being really risky for the Allied player. Especially if they've got a division deficit.
Which they do, but again, the... oh, there you go. The river's been taken, and things start to settle a little bit over here as more and more tank divisions start to rise. But again, you have to think the Axis player is going to get a little bit...
Speaking of, Essen just fell. That's a key supply hub. This could open the entire center.
Saffelarnheim as well. There we go.
Look at this. So all of these tank divisions that you're seeing on the map, I believe, are Allied infantry units that have been turned into what we call Space Marines. Yes, they are 30 width infantry divisions backed up by 3 lines of tanks and those flamethrower tanks. And there's 21 divisions of them. The entire line is Space Marine. These things are going to hit hard. They are going to, as long as they don't get overrun in speed, which the horses, in theory, could do, these could really gain some traction just if they get across the river a bit more.
Holding. That looked dangerous, but they managed to get forced back across the river. The horses are holding very well. I tell you what, I'm surprised, and we do see the Axis now forcing them back across the river line with their singular tank division, and they've done very well to hold. But you have to think that the Allies are going to be increasing in power the longer this goes on. Stuttgart itself getting attacked now north of Stuttgart. They've seen that the lone tank division is up north and are probably going to make a play to encircle the southern pocket. And it does not look good for the Axis. Only 2 cavalry divisions, and one of them is now starting to retreat. You seeing this down south?
Yeah, I am.
That's not.
The main issue here is there is no semblance of anti-tank in any... There is anti-tank now in these units, but it's not quite enough with the amount of mechanized, motorized coming at them. There's just...
divisions, that's it. 7 divisions are going to get stuck.
It's possibly more. That could be 8. That could be 8 in Stuttgart. That's 8 now. The 8 divisions encirclement. That division deficit that the Allies had, that slight weakness, not anymore. There's now all of them are going to slowly die as we see those helmet pops coming on in. And I think it's just coming down to the fact that our Allied player just seems to be that little bit slower off the mark in terms of their play, their clicks, slightly slower APM. We could see this reopen. They need to hit a last stand on some of these cavalry divisions in the mountains. They are going to have a little bit of time here, but no, the troops being sent to break back through, being moved down. And here we see the singular tank division that's being put to task, trying to break them back out. But in the meantime, what our allied player should be doing now is putting pressure further along the line, and we are starting to see that now that the tank has shown its hand being in the south. They know there's nothing to reinforce near Essen.
However, they might just save their divisions here, but the river line has been crossed up north.
One division died in the pocket.
Oh, but they're going to get out. They're going to get out.
They might get out. They might get out.
This is a miracle. It's a miracle.
It is a Christmas miracle. This could be... Now, if the Stuttgart... The horses need to move. They need to move because they could get a counter-encirclement here against the corner of the map. And that would be huge.
And he is just that little bit slower, like you say. He is that just a little bit slower. But there is an opportunity here. There is an opportunity. Now, north of Karlsruhe...
This is going to reclose. But this pocket's going to reclose. The divisions that are holding the pocket open are being double combated, I think, right now. Yep, they're going to get pushed out. Oh, okay. They got saved by a second double combat. This pocket is so wild. Both players playing thin and close. Frankfurt's under threat now. There's only one division in there, and that's being pressured on because so many troops have been committed towards saving the Stuttgart pocket that a VP has come under threat. And this is going to change hands.
But Stuttgart can still encircle if he moves, and he probably does need to move quickly because if he allows that lot to reinforce Frankfurt, then this is probably going to be lost. Let's not forget he is ahead, the Axe player, in terms of the life health points, whatever you're going to call it.
VP, yeah, life points.
Look at him! He could have pinned. He could
pin. Go! Pin him! He's no good. Wake up, allies! Axis, wake up!
They have
yeah. So again, it's just the speed of this player. They have their fundamentals down. They understand how to play the map. But John is just slightly outplaying Sky in terms of the speed. And now we see Axis VP points begin to bleed. Every time I see like talk about the VP bleed and the health points, my brain skips to Yu-Gi-Oh, and I want to say, and I attack your life points directly.
Bro, if he was watching, Ulm actually activated his trap card. That was one province wide. Was that little thing there? And frankly, I think it should have happened. Obviously, Frankfurt was dominating the psyche there, but that's where it was. If he does that, then what was that? 5 divisions, 5 good divisions as well, and you'd see this entire southern front collapse. But unfortunately, it's those little moments that decide it, and we're not seeing that here. In the meantime, research isn't being done. A focus isn't being done. It does look like the Axis was throwing everything at that. Again, like you say, it's still little APMs, and we're gonna start to see, I think, the Allies with a little bit of a longer term build start to pull away with this one. Hang on, no, Frankfurt.
I will say there's enough anti-tank in these cavalry divisions that they are, when they're messed up, they will pierce these tank divisions. There's not quite enough armor, which is proving a bit of a risk here for the Allied player. They are struggling to get a little bit of a foothold. The problem here for our Axis player compared to our Allied player, this is an early to mid-game build. You need that snowball momentum, because against this French build that has industrial bonuses that they are expertly utilizing, if I've looked at the tree correctly, they are building their tanks, they're putting the focuses in, they know what they need to build. Like, they're building 30 tanks a day. There becomes a point where this just gets more and more untenable as the game goes on, even if they have the VP lead.
Are you seeing the difference in logistics and difference in equipment here?
I haven't checked, but go ahead, take us through it. I'll send it over to your screen.
Okay. Over here, look at this. Negative 5,000 in infantry equipment. I mean, there's just not quite enough to go around. Whereas if you flip to the Allied side, they have the equivalent of the US having a barge of ice cream. I mean, it's just green numbers everywhere. They're having a great time. They've got one of these tanks literally just goes around flipping burgers for the front line. It's a stark difference. That's the main thing. But again, on this Axis side, we're not seeing any focus go through. We're not seeing any research being done. Well, actually, I'm lying to you. But it's just... Huh?
I was going to say, have you seen that TikTok meme about America asking Japan how they secure their ice cream supply in the South Pacific?
Yeah.
That's where my brain just went to. Yeah, we're going to see probably another slower point here. The Allied player now content that they have the 2 VPs.
Oh, look south. It looks like a play's being made for Freiburg here.
Oh, actually, we might see a bit of an overrun here. Yeah, this is the gap in this pocket. let's check the battalion advantage. 38 to 26. There is still a 10 battalion advantage. So if the Axis use this correctly and they get over to Strasbourg, this could start putting some pressure on Frankfurt and force the Allies away. Hagenau now also under threat.
Oh, this is a big push. This is a big push. But how far does he go? A couple of divisions have left Frankfurt. A couple are trying to reinforce. You got to try sow the chaos. Colmar is being advanced on,
so
but it's going to be protected by Mountain Division.
So one of the things that of note here, there's 2 key provinces our Axis player will need to take if they want to close the pocket-ish around Frankfurt. The first is currently being attacked. It's that position just left of Frankfurt, just to the west of Frankfurt. If this falls, that means that supply, that train route into Frankfurt from that side of the Allied advance won't be able to supply it. Next place is these horses need to get to Saarbrücken. If those 2 places fall, then Frankfurt is completely cut off from supply and we will see a full rout here.
I mean, it's close. Look at this. This one division is getting cycled on. Yeah. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Nope, just got reinforced. Damn. Woo. It is a matter of margins here. And yeah, okay, that's what I was expecting, what I was going to point out. Look at Essen now. Essen was getting very, very, was always going to fall, I think. Yep, we're seeing 3 divisions now move straight to Essen to try and defend it, leaving Arnhem and Utrecht and that entire front line completely open. Essen has fallen. The river has fallen, and I think that might possibly be the game if the Allies decide to push this.
Yeah, this is a huge gap in the line for the Axis. Slightly too much has been pushed down this bottom, but we're trying to see a closing of the pocket around Frankfurt. They have moved to cut off Saarbrücken, but there's still supply going in. And wait a minute. Look at Cologne. Look at Cologne.
Go, just move, just right.
He needs to pin in Essen. He needs to pin that division in Essen. Otherwise, he's going to cut himself off. Please, pin from Dortmund. No. Oh, okay.
He can get the Bonn, right?
Yeah, Amsterdam has been encircled, though.
Oh, 4 divisions. That's actually huge.
That would be huge. That would be a huge IC victory. As I say, IC as in industrial capacity victory. If those units get killed. This is the kind of thing I was talking about with the fact that the cavalry, there's slightly more of it on the field. So in a war of maneuver, they win. Because the battles don't need to be won. They just need to win long enough that they pin units. And then they can crush them when the supply fails.
You've got to pin and just get more troops in there, and that's what we're starting to see, but I don't think it's going to happen enough, and just the same thing happened around Frankfurt. We're just seeing the line get... Oh, look at that encirclement now. 2 cavalry divisions have been encircled, and they're not getting out.
No, they're dead. They are immediately destroyed. And again...
It looked for a second. Like that was going to happen, but no, now we're seeing Stuttgart getting surrounded as well. The troops down south are also presumably going to fall here.
The line has been stretched just too much. There was legitimately, if the 7 divisions that were in that original Stuttgart pocket were still alive now, we'd be looking at a different match. I know that's wishful thinking and saying, yes, if we had just 7 more divisions. But no, those divisions could have survived, and it's all coming down to the speed of this player's clicks. It shows how just superior numbers sometimes can be what wins you if you know the map tactically well enough to exploit the extension of a line, if you're using it to be able to, maneuver around. We see how much these tanks are struggling, even against horses. So these Space Marines aren't the be-all and end-all. It's just a little too late.
But I think that if he was able to move his troops south, I think the Ulm thing would have changed everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Another 3 divisions cut off in the south. We had 4 just destroyed in the north. 5 in the north. We're looking closer and closer to a game here, purely because now the Axis down to 30 divisions. With these 4 getting destroyed, these 8 getting destroyed, they're actually going to dip below the division amount the Axis have, and there we have the game. Well, that's semi-final 1 going to John Loves Microplastics. Those microplastics clearly giving him an advantage in Hearts of Iron. And do you want to ping Hawk? Because we're moving on to a semi-final 2. Guys, we're going to go to a little bit of a pause screen while we get some things up. Actually, no. Let's talk. Let's get Hawk in the back end and let's just discuss. Are you enjoying Commanders?
It's great. I've never felt so alive.
And do you want to talk to our winner of semi-final 1?
I do. I'd love to.
Congratulations and GG, John. Swift 2-0 victory. Are you looking forward to being in tonight's? Okay, you've got 2 possible enemies out of the next semi-final. You have Mohammed and sorry, I need to scroll for the name. Intervarium. Who would you prefer to end up against?
Intervarium.
Okay. Are you afraid of Mohammed still?
No. I lost to him twice, but I've got some strats I've got to counter him, you know? So
Okay.
Can I quickly ask a couple of questions about this recent match that you just the one you just completed?
Yeah.
How confident were you about your maneuvers down south in Stuttgart right at the start?
In the south, I was pretty confident. But like at a certain point, I started lagging very slightly, and then I was like, "Okay, this is going back on the front line." But was there a single? Yeah, was there a single moment when you thought to yourself, "This could go badly here"? Because there was a moment where 4 divisions got encircled up north, and that looked like it might be a problem, but they broke out pretty swift. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't expect them to break through the river. I was just clicking to distract him, but he just didn't reinforce the tower. And then I looked back up and I was like, wait, they actually went through. Oh shit! Now they're stuck.
There you go. Suffering from success.
But then I just brought my tanks up, and they were stronger in the plains, which just freed them. I could have lasted under the tanks there as well, so they would have lasted a while, even if I didn't get the initial.
Did you expect him to do the same strat twice in terms of the picks?
Yes.
Oh, so you're like, he's gonna do it twice. I'm gonna counter him, or did you just not care what he picked?
Oh, I somewhat didn't care what he picked, but I cared whether he did Imp or tanks, because if he does tanks, I have to produce the medium cannon instead of the howitzer. But other than that, it doesn't really matter.
To the untrained eye, it looked like both games went your way from start to finish. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will see you later for your next game.
See you later.
Right, Laith.
Yes.
I'm about to leave now.
Yeah, okay. Bye, John. Disconnect. Laith, I'm now leaving this over to you and Hawk. How confident do you feel? Well, I've pinged him. Do you want to give him a quick ring? I think we finished a little faster than he was probably expecting. Bless him.
I don't know if I have his number. He says not. He says never to text him.
Oh, really? He told me to text him all the time. You give him a ring on Discord.
I have his number. You know what? Get your ass on here, otherwise I'm gonna leak his number.
Dox him. But anyway, if you guys are watching, welcome to the Group 8 semi-final. That was match 1. We are about to go into match 2, and we will have a final tonight. By the way, someone is walking away with €250 tonight. I don't think we've actually spoken about that enough. There is a prize money cash grab at the end of this, and that person qualifies for a grand tournament which has a maximum prize of €5,000. By the end of the week, this is the last slot as well. Group 8 is the final chance for someone to qualify for that tournament. We are giving away the final slot to an exclusive club of elite players right here from this community. You can also become an elite exclusive member of this community by becoming one of our show producers. Oh, that segue. That was a sick shill. Because yes, that is our shill alert. We are not backed by a big old corporate sponsor for most of our shows over at Parabellum. I say most because this one's we're not being paid for it. So we're not backed by a corporate sponsor on this one. I may be being backed by a corporate sponsor, but Laith isn't. Sorry, what? Anyway. And so anything you can do to help us out and help us create great shows such as Hegemon Season 2, which is coming, feel free if you are within your ability to. Maybe consider becoming one of our lovely little producers.
Don't say it like that. Don't ever say it like that.
Want to become one of our Uwu deuces?
I'll quit right now. I swear to you. I swear, Midge. I will. I'm not happy.
What hour is it there in undisclosed location in Southeast Asia?
Bangkok.
I didn't want to dox where you were. Just in case.
Give them my address. I don't care. What are they going to do?
I mean,
wow.
they might pull up to that influencer building you seem to be in. Tell chat the story of what you ran into in the gym.
So, I was booking for those of you who don't know, I don't know why you would, but I decided to disappear to Southeast Asia for 3 months. And so this month I'm in Thailand, I'm in Bangkok, and I was like, oh, I'll book an apartment for the month, and it's cheaper than rent in London for a place. I was like, okay, they're speaking English, perfect. I'll book that. Didn't think about it too much. And I get here, and I'm not seeing any Thai individuals. They're all just like Westerners. Okay, sure. And I looked up the property, and they gave me this pack, and it said like the premier location for influencer expats, which is already a bit strange. And then I go to the gym at a normal time. Went a couple times, no problems. Not a great gym. But then I went up like 3 days ago, and I do the just like the bench press, machine press, which is great. And then I look around. And I make my first mistake, which was looking around, because I needed to use the free weights.
Yeah.
There's 2 girls doing a TikTok dance.
Oh, okay.
Next to the free weights, but they're using like the like 2 kilogram weights, and they're dancing around with that. Very, very fast, I might add. It was very impressive. There was that. There were 2 guys as well behind them, kind of doing this. But like constantly. And like, bear in mind. There's no music playing out loud. So we're just going.
Oh yeah, because they're adding the sound afterwards, so it's even weirder.
I'm not happy with that. And then there was another guy on the right of me who was doing shoulder press, but he lifts it up all the way and then just drops it. So there's like cacophony and noise there. There's horrible music blaring, and then there's like 4 people dancing in front of me. I think not today, because we're on like the 20th floor and the window's looking real tasty right now. So it just I regret being here. Other than that, Bangkok's nice.
Yeah, fair enough.
Love.
Fair enough.
Paul said he's ready in 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's gonna be here in 2 minutes. So I'm gonna you can connect up. Do you reckon
Are
Hawk?
you gonna fully leave me alone?
I mean,
Is that? Yeah, okay. I'll see what I can do. I'll take that. I know what I'm doing. I could have won this last game. So.
Okay. Do you think you could have won this last game?
Okay. If you put me in a certain position, then yes, I could have won that last game. I genuinely believe that.
Okay.
If you put me in the allies about 30 seconds before the end, I win the game.
Just as a concept of maybe a future Parabellum one-shot show, there's a 2v2 mode.
Yeah? You want me to...
You and Hawk, opposite teams.
I thought you said me and Hawk on the same team.
The fear that you just had. No, you and Hawk, opposite team. I take whoever. I try and grab whoever wins this world championship, and another pro player. Team you guys up. Who do you reckon will win?
I'll do you one better. Make sure there's no communication between pro players, like me and the pro player.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Oh yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Okay, we might have to get it.
I think I win every day of the week. I've never lost to Hawk in anything.
You've never lost to Hawk.
Legit, I've never we did like EU4 1v1s and stuff. I've never lost to him, which is weird because I think he is a better player than me. But I win. But it's the same thing every time I play EU4 like 1v1s or anything else like that, or even Hoi4. Everyone else is better than me, but I win. You know why? I have that dog in me.
You do have that dog in you.
Feedback game was playing Germany. I was playing the Netherlands, and I beat him. Ignore the fact Dankus was playing Finland, and it was that I just rolled through Toria on Russia. But I was on his team, and we won, and I didn't capitulate.
Oh, look, he's appeared. He's appeared behind you for some reason. Why has that happened?
Well, hello.
Why has he appeared behind you?
What am I doing here? No! Get me out of here, bro. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Put it back.
No, don't put it back. There we go. There we go. You just need to key out my background, Midge. It's so simple. You know, I wasn't late. I was on time, and you can't even get my background out of the way.
Someone legit needs to. Someone legit needs to like take a screenshot of that because it fully looked like I was sitting in your lap.
I'm currently off
I know
cams.
you want to, but maybe next time.
Right
now,
we're gonna be casting some Hoi4. So you need to load up. Are you in the game?
I am. I'm doing that right now. You know, we're also waiting on our players, as I can see right here a little bit, you know, for them to warm up. No, they're not ready. They're not ready. I'm reading that they're saying that they're ready, but they're really not.
Are they mentally ready? Oh, you know, we've just been abandoned, right? And I've been told by Midge I have to explain to you how this...
We've been immediately abandoned?
It's just like Midge has said to me that I have to explain to you how this format works. Explain to the audience how this format works. I'm not ready for this level of responsibility, especially given that you don't know anything about Hoi4.
Before you get into this, though, I do need to bring the players in to get the map selected and their faction selected. So
please do. Well, they've already picked the map and their factions.
Hello, yeah, but I need to do it officially just for their own thing. So you guys are happy with your map and faction pick? Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Invertum. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the game. Are you feeling ready?
I'm ready.
Cool.
Yes,
so M7, you are hosting. So is this your map pick? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Invertum, you've picked
yes,
Axis. Cool. Remember, it's one ban this round. That ban will stick for the entire length of the journey. And Red Hawk has apparently turned into some game capture. So
I have blown up.
Oh, this is the most cursed stream I've ever produced, and I don't know how I'm failing this badly today.
This is your fault.
It really is. No, legit. This is my fault. There is so much wrong with today, and it's all my bad. Anyway, you guys have got the band set up. We're just waiting on. Hawk is just getting in as to be able to cast this, and then we'll get the. How are you guys feeling about the game?
We'll just player by player, right? Out of 10, how confident are you?
Vertum, you can go first.
I don't know. Like I think I'm pretty confident. I can't give you a number, but I think I'm confident. So.
Okay.
7.
Nice.
That's what
7.
I got.
Yeah, I think it's a 7. All right. What about you?
I think 10.
Damn. See, I think you're lying.
Sure.
Because you said to him to go first, and then you give 10. What is this?
Yeah. They've already started with mind games.
No, I need to feel him out, like see what he thinks, you know.
Actually, please. Go on, like, what is this?
Yeah, mind games.
Oh man. Hawk, are you in the game yet?
Okay. Whose game do I join? Let's see.
So it would be the one that M7 posted with the password in content creators.
Paste it in, you type the password. It's a super secret password.
Yeah, no one can ever guess it. It's actually really hard. We're using all the latest encryption methods here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, just so you guys know. So, yeah.
Last one didn't even have a password, to be clear. All right, and then Hawk, you've got to click in the top left. See the binoculars? Click that, please.
Yes, I have clicked it.
Okay, and then ready up in the bottom right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're good?
Yeah, we're good. Send it. Let's do these picks and bans. So, as this was your map pick, Mohammed, Invertum, you're going to be picking your ban first. So, as soon as that screen appears, let us know what you're going to be banning.
There we go. We're in. I'm looking the wrong way. I can't even see the map from here. I have to turn this way. Okay, that's much better.
Your angle's wrong. All right, now we're going to see what the banning. Hawk, I'll explain everything in a second. Roll with it.
So I'm banning Shock Army.
Okay.
Okay, nice ban, bro.
Mohammed, your ban?
Yeah. I think this.
Okay, fair.
Okay. Good luck. Have fun, gentlemen.
Yeah, good luck.
Midman.
Yo.
When do I go 3 speed?
When war starts.
Okay, okay. Sure.
2 days before. 2 days before.
All right, cool.
Okay, Hawk,
All right,
it's
ladies
you
and
and me.
gentlemen. So here we
We're
are
here.
in our. You wanted me to explain, right?
No, I'll explain because you'll know what's going on. And then, like,
I
this is
know
the idea.
everything that's going on. Listen, I'll explain
Midge is... Okay, go for it. Midge has told me what's going on so I can tell you. That's the point.
I know.
So you... But
Oh,
sure,
okay.
let's flip it. No, you tell me.
Sure, let's flip it. You know, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll forgive my yappy colleague over here, welcome once again to the second duel of the day, the second semifinal of the day of HOI4 Commanders, the premier 1v1 Hearts of Iron competition. Now, if you've never seen a tournament like this, if you're familiar with vanilla HOI4, you will notice that the map is completely different compared to what we're looking at over here. No, familiar countries. However, our players each play an ally and an Axis faction. You will see that the allies over here on this specific map, the Battle of the Rhine, they control this sort of northern France slash slightly German Belgian portion, if you'd like to call it. Actually, no, it's completely France. And then you got the Axis right here in what would be, East Germany. Then we got the League of Neutrality in the middle, which isn't really relevant. What is relevant is the victory points right here. Amsterdam, Cologne, and Frankfurt. You see, as soon as the game starts, right here, right below me, you will see a counter for their health points. In fact, it's this right here. We'll just zoom it in a little bit, and each player needs to hold these victory points to tick down the health of the other player. Now, Laith, why don't you let our audience know right here a little bit about the tactics of this map? You know, who has an easier time capturing Frankfurt, Cologne, Amsterdam? You know, where would they be crossing over on this map? Is there choke points and stuff like that? And then, of course, you can go on into the focus trees as well. Well,
Can I just say, I like it's rare and painful that I have to give you a compliment, Hawk, but that was fantastically done.
Thank you.
So congratulations. Anyway, do you know anything about what the bans and that sort of thing meant?
Of course, but why don't you explain it to our audience?
Okay, sure. So what you saw at the start was each player has the opportunity to pick to ban something. What are they banning? They are banning certain portions of the focus tree. So I'm looking over here at the allied focus tree, and they can pick how would I explain this? You can pick sort of like specializations, shall we say. So here's one over here, here's another one, and so on and so forth, right? So if one is banned, what was banned before? I think it was the Third Shock Army. So this one's banned, so it would not be it's not able to be picked.
Let's go to Laith's POV right here, ladies and gentlemen, so we can see that.
There you go. So over here, the Third Shock Army has been banned, and so things like Stalin's organs and the very mild navy that they get, as well as a railway gun, as well as some paratroopers. This was something that we saw to great effect in the first game. It was actually the winning side selected this, is not going to be able to be used. So, for example, if we look at something like this, the Armée Française de la Libération, which was on this map the last game for the winning team, and over here we'll see it's more of a late, mid to late game build, and you'll see it's more focused on mediums. We saw like sort of Space Marine builds last time. In terms of who has a better start here, allegedly they are the exact same. Depending on who loses, I guess they're going to claim it's rigged. But the neutral point is Amsterdam up here. The Cologne is the Allies.
Mitch, let's go to the Leith POV so we can see that.
And over here, the Axis is more easily going to take Frankfurt. So in terms of the different strategies, tank play is the main thing. We don't have a naval victory point, so there's nothing like that to worry about. We should see some tank interplay. The last game was on this map, and we saw some fast and furious maneuvers around Stuttgart, as well up north in Amsterdam. And so we'll see how they get on. We won't know what they pick, by the way, until they finish this. So they've got the industry tree first. Usually they'll do over here, go like the meta is to pick this one, this one, this one. And once they finish final arms industry expansion, they will begin to specialize, and we'll get to see what they pick. And I'll read out what that will do in a bit. Hawk, also, if you go on to the divisions, you'll see a countdown to war. This currently says 208 days. War will be declared immediately, and the rush will begin. And we'll see them both sprint. I'm not gonna lie, I'm intrigued by this. This is a combat with 14 support artillery, and he's spammed a couple of them out, and he's got a fullback line, and he's okay, sure, why not?
Interesting pick. interesting pick.
What's going on this front? I mean, we won't see anything happen too much again until they specialize. What we
this is
might
the warm-up phase.
What we might see, if we check the research, might see if anyone might be able to pick if everyone's going a bit aerial. And they are. Okay, so if you go over to the allies, so you control click, you'll see the allies, and then you click on the research, which is a shortcut of W, or the third thing here. You'll see survivability studies and heavy MG. That indicates that they are going to be building planes, right? So planes very good for air superiority as well as CAS, so that's close air support, and that will do damage to troops directly.
That's right. That's right.
That's what we'll see. Also, if we look on the production tab, you'll start to see what people are, what they are starting to build. I don't think we're going to see any Navy in this game at all.
You don't think? You don't think this map lends itself to some cheeky naval invasions?
We might see some cheeky naval invasions, but because of the most of the combat being around sort of, well, the center, to be honest. But again, outside the neutral point. But there's no, like, the first map we saw, Gotland was a victory point, and so nabbing that early is good. So 2 out of the 3 will start to deplete your opponent, and so we'll see a mad rush initially. So if anyone has any sort of motorized at the start, like there's a Hungarian tree over on the Axis side that we saw twice in a row, and it lost twice in a row, to be clear. So I don't rate it that highly, but it looks cool. Whereas a bunch of cavalry and you just flood straight in.
Do you think that's sort of like a bait pick, perhaps? You know, like the maybe less experienced player would go for that?
What we've seen, I mean, I don't know personally.
Like I think first thought, it's good, but it's actually not. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it does depend on what your opponent does. Like, it didn't really work too well against the French Liberation Army because, like man for man, they were terrible. You have the ability to get more troops out, and so you need to extend the front line as much as possible. But once the opponent if the opponent's able to set themselves, then you're not going to do too well. And again, we'll see how that does pan out. Okay, Finals Artistry expansion. So we'll see from here what is going to be picked. National focus.
So now you having observed the previous game, we've already had one match here just earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that was played out on the same map. If some of you guys got it, maybe Laith, you have more experience in how a battle, let's say, how a scenario would play out with this map. So what are some of the things right here you really got to look out for that you wouldn't notice when looking at it initially, right? Is there maybe a detriment to going for Cologne for the Allies, for example, or for Frankfurt for the Axis, or is it just no?
You want to hit the river line. So the river line's where you're going to be holding. The main thing to look out is the supply hubs. So for example, Essen, despite not being a victory point, is very important for a supply hub because it connects up quite nicely. Again, down south, you might see a lot of interplay when it comes to the supply hubs. Specifically around here, what's that? It looks like Stuttgart and Frankfurt. Stuttgart itself not being a VP, but again, very important supply hub. So again, it's that kind of thing you want to be looking out for. We are seeing the first army. Okay, so the Axis is going down the Royal Italian Army, and then we're going down the first army. Let's see what that does. So over here, we have 2 light tank divisions, 3 mountaineer divisions, 150 fighters. We're seeing some special forces. Again, tankettes, so light tanks. It looks to be light tanks, and down here by blood alone, I don't know if we'll get there. But I'm liking that initial 150 fighters, and speed and maneuverability is really important on this map because you can go around and blitz them. Wait, let's see what's happening on the Allies front. On the Allies front, branch school training. Whereabouts is that? I think it's on the right side, if I remember correctly. It is. So we have it's going the Chinese United front. We have, let's see. This is my favorite one. It looks like it's just gonna be pure infantry. Hell yeah. Okay, we've got some mountaineers here.
The allied player is going for the Chinese tree?
Yes,
I like that. I like that.
Branch school training, and it looks to me like the bonuses you'll get from this are going to be mostly infantry in nature.
Yeah.
Breakthrough. And getting a lot of equipment from it for free. So we might start to see some grinding. What I really want to see, which we haven't seen in the last game, was a bit of a war of attrition.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, listen, when you have a problem, just throw more men at it. I mean, we know this is the solution to your many problems in many of Paradox games, not just Hearts of Iron, ladies and gentlemen, but it's proven to be true sometimes in real life. And I do want to see, as opposed to small armies that are good at certain things, doing, you know, certain complicated strategies. We'll go from here, we'll go like this, I'll put those regiments there. Sometimes you just want to see a good old-fashioned, you know, Slaughterfest in Hearts of Iron 4, of course.
It's going to be a Slaughterfest in my opinion, because we're seeing a couple of factories on close air support, and it does look like the Axis suspect into that. And I don't know if the Allies are going to have any counter to the air at all here. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It did look like they were doing something to do with it, but if they're going pure infantry, they're not going to fare well against light tanks and superior, in my opinion. We could be seen wrong, because if the infantry can get and hold, infantry is good at holding ground, right? So if they can get to Colton and they can get to Amsterdam, they will hold it. And it'll be very, very difficult to dislodge them. Sure. However, if the light tanks break through, then we might see a very quick encirclement and a quick game, as we do start to see war in 20 days. Now, an advantage to these motorized units is they're going to blitz through and take Column. I'm going to be speaking quite fast when it comes to the next 20 days when the war starts, so I'll let you take over from now. Until then.
So what do you think, just before the war starts, what do you think about the strategy of the Axis player going only for Cologne and Frankfurt, whereas the Allied player is going for all 3 victory points at the same time? What do you think about the Axis leaving Amsterdam alone for now?
So it's going to be just an initial rush. I'm surprised, to be honest. Okay, a cipher has been broken. Let's see, 7 days. So that is going to help with basically just combat, right? Is the best way I can describe that in few words. We have 4 more days. We do. I think the light tanks. I'm surprised he's not going to go for Amsterdam here, but it's an interesting strategy to go for Cologne first. I do like it. He's ignoring potentially an easier. That will be an easier VP for him to take with the light tanks, and presumably if he stacks up on one side, I mean, go back to Alexander the Great for just stacking up on one flank and swinging around. We'll see. That might be a better strat with the light tanks. Okay, we do see the war has declared, and the light tanks should start to blitz. And we do see green air as well.
Actually, he is rushing Amsterdam.
He's snaking Amsterdam. I don't think he's going to go there. No, he halts. He is going to take Essen. Doesn't take Cologne in time. There was a motorized division was able to get their first force attack has been deployed. Interesting start here. Okay, so Amsterdam and Cologne taken both for the Allies. Not sure how I mean, if I were the Axis, I'd go straight in and try and respond to that quickly. But no, it's the Allies that are on the offensive and gonna be taking Utrecht, it looks like. And that is a supply hub. Nope, they've held off. Okay, we should start to see the front line start to develop. It's gonna be an initial rush, and then
Allies have crossed the river over near Bonn.
I would be surprised to see if they decide to push further, but they are actually. It looks like, well, it looks like they're trying to take Dortmund, which is a supply hub, which would be very, very useful.
Very relevant.
Essen. I don't know that that's going to last that long. Okay, and it's the southern front that's going to be an interesting one. That can be a little bit of trouble. It does look like the Allies are not going to be pushing any further in the sort of southeastern one. Okay, if we look at logistics, they're doing decently on that front. I'm surprised at this. Okay, Amsterdam might fall here to the light tanks.
Yep.
Let's see, they are able to pierce the tanks. Frankfurt under threat. It's a very fast developing. This is fast and furious. Usually I'm used to the last 2 games. It's settling down. This is very fast and furious. In fact, I'm going to take
What do you think about this little gap that's been left over in the south? Any possibility for any flanks over here, or is that not relevant enough for our players to just, you know, fill up the...
It could be, but the more troops you dedicate to going down there, the weaker you are on the VPs, right? So you can start to like push in from there, but ultimately, if you stretch your lines too thin, it's going to be a bit of a problem. And if you're the one pushing, oh, hang on, entrenchment is going to be difficult. But Frankfurt looks like it's going to fall early. Oh man, I think all 3 VPs are going to be controlled by the Allies.
There it is. It's fallen, ladies and gentlemen. It's so quickly too. It's only been pretty much 26 days after this war started, and all 3 victory points being controlled by the Allied player over here. So interesting.
I mean, really interesting. If you look at the Axis, you wanted to see naval invasions, and it looks like
naval invasion incoming? Question mark?
Oh my god, this is a phenomenal game thus far. Those are 3 motorized divisions, but they have been caught by the Navy. So it looks like they will make it through. Let's see how that develops.
So
they should make it through.
Just as another thing to cut in, just a little advanced technique. a thing I've noticed here, Mohammed on the allies has actually spent all of his command power. So those last stands come in. I mentioned it briefly in previous games that in this mod, forced attack and last stands are triple the cost than they are in base game. So you use them really sparingly, and he's wasted them to try and get this early hold. Now it could pay off if he now has time to recover it. But if you look, 35 command power compared to the so the Axis having 100 command power, and for example, to do a last stand on each battalion, it's going to cost, well, if one of these army groups for the Axis here, it would cost all of 140 command power. So it's really expensive, so they need to be careful.
He does have an early hold, and he does have entrenchment on these areas, and it does, to me at least, look like he is trying to hold with an infantry army. So getting these early is probably a better idea than trying to push with an infantry army. However, I think Frankfurt's going to fall, and let's not forget this here.
You think it's going back to the Axis?
If I see, where is it? Enemy troops bombed 73.5, so that's going to be kind of painful to be dealing with. That obviously does help with the combat bonuses. I think it's going to flip to the Axis, maybe, but that is a strong hold.
Let's see how it develops. Let's see how it develops.
I mean,
very interesting. Do we have a naval battle up there just above Groningen? Is that what I'm seeing right now?
And if you see in the north, Le Havre has been taken. However, that is such low strength, it's probably going to be immediately killed.
Yeah.
Because it got caught by
naval invasion landing
force over there. Yeah.
So the ally, and he is retreating immediately. The allies' navy probably in shambles here.
Do you think we can see another naval invasion?
I'd be surprised if he tries it again. I think it was just to try and distract him for a little bit.
Yeah, just a little distraction, agree.
Yeah. No, it's continuing. It's cracking on. And these guys actually do have full strength. So let's see if the allies are able to contend with this. He doesn't have anything in reserve. Let's see. No, he does have a couple of troops that he can deploy instantly to this, but they have been caught again. And that was the problem that this other division had before. The navies have been out hunting for this exact thing. So I don't think those naval invasions are going to land and be as impactful as potentially he was looking for them to be.
For sure.
But so far, I mean, it's a good hold from the allies. A bit of a chaotic front line, but a good hold
holding all three, victory points. Cologne, the safest, maybe I would say. Frankfurt, the one. Well, not really. I was gonna say the one most in danger, but not really.
These infantry divisions, if you look with a wing and a skull, they actually have a medium tank in there as well, which will help their stats considerably. If I look at the other one, I believe it's just a base. Yeah, so it's just a 14 width without them. So the more impactful divisions for the allies are going to be the ones with a skull, just for ease of reference.
We have another landing in Calais in the meantime.
Yeah, but they're gonna be wiped immediately, so that's over.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. It looks like the Axis knows he needs to do something.
Yeah,
go for it.
What's he doing? I was seeing special forces training, so I'm trying to see what's he speccing into pretty much, but yeah.
Now he has not been able to dislodge him, and it looks like the infantry army is going to entrench rather nicely. So now he has to rethink his strat. He does have some nice air superiority, which is very useful, but frankly, that he can't, this is a lot to dislodge. It's going to be.
I mean, victory point, life points or whatever we want to call it, has been ticking down ever since the start. The allied player at 500, obviously. Axis player down to almost 350 right here. So, if he doesn't do something fast, something unexpected, so to say, I think he may be in trouble like this, because I feel like the allied player is comfortable doing this until the end.
The special forces are going to be in use over here. I think the Mountaineers are going to be trying to break across a river line to potentially try and get an encirclement. They're not going to be able to do it, but there are light tanks up north and there are Mountaineers up north. Otherwise, you see these starred divisions? These are the same as the standard divisions that the Allies have, but they're going to be worse because of the specking into infantry, as far as I'm aware, at least. Looking at the logistics situation, it does seem to me that it's comparable. There's a lot less infantry equipment on the Ally side. Looking at fielded manpower, we've got 614,000 on the Ally side, and on the Axis side, we are
411.
411. Yes, there's a massive difference.
Yeah, big difference.
In fielded manpower, and I think that is where the Axis is going to suffer. So we'll see. He's not currently building any more troops, and is he continuing? He's going down the Angel of Conquest.
I'm gonna cut in again. Just to Laith, do you remember I said what there was 2 rules to this combat? Do you remember what I said those were?
The 2 rules?
Yeah, there's 2 rules in this game.
Okay, what are they?
Well, the combat width isn't allowed to be below 8.
Yes.
But the other thing, navies aren't allowed to be stacked below 3 ships, and we have active fleets that are below 3 ships. So we actually have a rule break right now. So could one of you jump down, because I can't jump down because of the broadcast, could one of you jump down and mention that to Mohammed that his navy currently is breaking the rules?
Okay, Hawk, do you mind doing that?
I will do that.
Thank you, Hawk.
Okay.
So, yeah, I noticed it in the naval invasion. So, yeah, it's a little bit... That's a little bit funky. It could just be where the Allied fleet was destroyed. He just needs to reorganize it. However, had it been reorganized before those naval invasions, there's actually a chance that they might have landed a bit better. So that's a little bit of a grey area one there. Again, though, to notice that, you need to be on the Navy tab. Players miss it. That's why we give them a warning. If it happens again, though, we might have to award the match.
Well, unfortunately, that's up to you.
Just warned. He was unaware.
Yep.
He said, I apologize. I will fix it immediately. They died in combat, and I forgot to, you know, rearrange them and stuff like that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, continuing.
We do see the Allies starting to push on the eastern front. He does have he does have a big advantage in terms of field and manpower. Divisions-wise, he has a lot. There is, I think it's almost double the count. So extending out the front line, probably a very, very good decision over here. And we'll see if this lot get encircled. He does have men to burn.
Yeah, surprised it took this player, the ally player, so long to do a push like this, especially when you're saying, you know, the amount of manpower in the field, the advantage is huge. Oh,
Arnheim up north.
Yep, we see a push up north. Very nice up there.
That's a big push
and in the south, look at that spearhead after Frankfurt, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing.
Encirclement, though.
However, that's not good. That's actually not good at all.
3 divisions sending out the back line. Look, because it's counter encircled. Look at this. That 5 attack that 1. That is gonna happen. He needs to pin now. He needs to pin and then walk across. And I think no wait, that 5 has now been counter encircled. It's encircled. It's on encircled talk.
It's another one over there after recovering the army in the south. But we see a massive push up north and another encirclement, you know, by the sea, up near Groningen.
2 down south, and they've been unencircled now. This is, I mean, the north is completely collapsing. The north is completely collapsing. This is a violent end to the match.
We might see a push to
big encirclement. That's huge. That's massive, and I think that might be the game. That if that encirclement holds, wait, no, it's broken out.
Oh, they freed themselves. But look at this massive push to Hanover, ladies and gentlemen, and another encirclement over here just north of Munster. Then the Allies
that all came from the south, because even though he's taking massive losses on this, it's worth
Hanover has been captured.
Yeah, it's worth it just to smash through the front lines. He did have 200,000 men advantage, and almost double the amount of divisions. And when you have sort of overwhelming power like that, you gotta just go for it. I mean, there wasn't really too much on the other end to scare him. There were the 3 Mountaineer divisions, and there were the
when you have such an advantage, I feel like this was a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we know about straight up now. But like, you can just march them like with impunity behind the front lines. This is it. Frankly, I would be very surprised if he comes back from this. Getting pushed back on all fronts, and the ally player just needs to keep marching forwards. And I think at this point we could call this here. I don't know if the submarines played too much of a role in this one. Maybe it did. But more encirclements. I mean, if you can start to see the casualties now. Axis on 280k, Allies on 212.
Total collapse of the Axis front, ladies and gentlemen. Complete collapse.
Yeah, just to chime in on that with the rule break, it's one of those things where the advantage, if the game was still stalemate at this time, it might have been an advantage played, but there was no change into front line, therefore the advantage hasn't affected said front line, and this push, that just means game.
There it is.
Push that. Very, very good push.
I gotta say, really, really, really good gameplay right here. he did the thing that he needed to do at the time he needed to do it in, and I enjoyed that quite a lot.
He did the thing he needed to do. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm not really too sure there's that much to analyze for us there. I think it was just a good game from the Allies. They had more men in the field. They had more men, better men in the field.
Simple as that. I feel like.
It's a lot easier to push when you have those divisions with a single medium tank in it. And it feels like on the Axis side, you just didn't have, like, their men were worse, and they had the air advantage, but it wasn't enough, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to add some extra analytics in here, just from knowing the players and that level of things. Mohammed at the moment, he is on paper, in terms of winnings, the world's best player. But he's out of practice. But other players have identified that he's very, very fond of those mass assault builds, those big infantry push walls. So if someone can come up with a counter to those, that's going to be what trumps Mohammed, because it's kind of his one-trick pony. It's the only thing he's been focusing on since training for this tournament, and therefore, if someone can beat him on it, therefore he'll start to fall behind. The other thing is, he probably hasn't played some of the newer maps anytime soon. Let's get our players up, though, to do the next map pick.
Let's.
Okay, hello, gang.
No.
Yes, hello.
Invertum, what is your map pick?
Baltic.
Okay, and Mohammed, what is your faction pick?
Access.
Okay, let's get in and do those faction bans. Up to 2 bans now, same bans from last time. Stay. And let's get in-game.
Yeah, do 2 bans. You know, make sure that you do 2 bans and.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. It was
it was 9th Army, yes, for Axis.
Yes, and then you do the other one. And for you, it was communist, and I do another one. Okay.
It was Third Shock was the other one, wasn't it?
No,
yes.
Did he did? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, because you played Communist Forces.
Yes, I got that in.
So go for a reset. There is the reset button.
Yes. Oh, okay, reset.
Yes, press reset. Okay.
Thank you, Leonard, for the reset. Okay, Third Shock and
I ban 9th Wehrmacht, right?
yes, and then we do our bans. My fault, guys.
It's okay.
Okay.
That's why we put the reset button in.
Okay. I do the first one, right? So Commonwealth.
Yes, Commonwealth, okay.
Okay, a Hungary ban. So the bans are Commonwealth 8th Army, 3rd Shock Army, Hungary, and the one that just went away before I could see it. Okay, good luck, everybody.
Third Shock, right?
Yeah.
Third Shock.
There we have it. All right, getting ready for match 2 of the semifinal here, ladies and gentlemen. Explain this match.
There's something that's a little bit more interesting about this one. This one has 5 points, right? So you need to control 3 of them. One of those points is on Gotland. So we're gonna see some degree of navy, but then it's how much do you commit? How much do you want to be fighting over Gotland, right?
For sure.
That's kind of an important one. Melmel and Wilno are both situated behind the river. Obviously, Wilno not right on the river there, whereas Lik and Breslau Litevsk are not. Litevsk. I'm sorry for not being Polish. I apologize for this every day, and yet you never forgive me. Anyway, so
now
we'll hopefully see some naval stuff here. I want Gotland to be so hotly contested.
How much of an advantage do you think the Allies have on this map with Memel and Vilno, and honestly Gotland too being so close to them, whereas for the Axis everything is kind of a little more further away? What do you think about that?
So I would say, from just my eyes here, I think Allies are better. Again, we saw this in the first game, and it was a very solid hold. Memel and Wilno were taken, so was Gotland, and then forts were built. I mean, there was a level 5 fort in Cornus, I believe. And so, yeah, it was just pretty solid. Like, once those troops are entrenched, it's really hard to dislodge. That initial rush is quite good, quite interesting. That's why, Hungary's and the cavalry are quite useful because you can blitz that front line. We saw it previously with the allies going straight and taking all 3 victory points, and they just sort of sat there. Ooh, naval invasion immediately planned for the allies. Definitely going for Gotland. Let's see what. Let's see the research side of things. Okay, disperse infantry, improve machine tools, and on this side of things we have.
I'm speaking to you just in your ear, Laith.
Sorry, I was looking at the axis as well.
I'm just talking to you both in your ear. Keep talking. But in the bottom right of the game, in the map modes, the very center of the bottom buttons turns off Fog of War.
Which would make sense given the hold on Memel, Wilno, and Gotland. Like those are the 3. If you're playing a later build, you don't really need to
keep talking. I'm talking into your ears right now. By the way, if you in the bottom right of your map mode icons, there's one that turns off Fog of War. It's the eye at the bottom, so you can see both sides.
So we'll see how quickly they're able to get to the VPs here, and obviously that does depend on what they pick. 4 bans means fewer options, and we'll see. I mean, Midge said the very harsh words of saying that Muhammad was a one-trick pony with the human wave side of things as the game starts to go. But what a trick it was! And frankly, it was
we'll
devastating.
See if he goes for it again. Honestly, I'm excited to see it. You know, one-trick pony, maybe it's sort of a negative connotation, but let's see he does it again, and let's see the allied player doesn't have a counter for it again. Is it an OP strat, perhaps, or you know, is it if it works? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's like calling bring your gun to rock paper scissors a one-trick pony. Like, yeah,
true. Yeah,
Dave. He always brings a gun to rock paper scissors, but yeah, Dave always wins because he has a gun.
Yeah. For sure,
That is what it is. Okay, I want to see more on the research side of things. Improve artillery and infantry equipment.
Interesting battle plans here being drawn up by the allies.
Okay, survivability study. So it looks like much the same as last time. The Axis are speccing into air a little bit here, and I'm just thinking off of what I'm seeing on this initial side of things with the allies. I think he's going human wave again. Again, it's a bit early to tell, but that's my inclination here. But obviously the naval invasion of Gotland setup is quite telling as to what he's going to do, and he should hit Memel and we'll know first. Although Memel, to be clear, is I think further 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roughly the same, but I mean we'll see.
Yeah, roughly
in the first game we saw Memel was going to get hit first by the Axis, but a very well timed and well planned paratrop into Memel did save the day. So we'll see. Looks like across the front line, I think we're going to see the exact same thing, you know?
You think? I'm honestly excited to see the exact same. Now, we can see the battle plans drawn up by the allies right here, the naval invasions to Gotland, like you said, and this, push to right on the border of Memel, taking Memel and slightly cozying up to, Lick and Brech-Litovsky right here, but not actually going for them. So anticipating that the Axis player gets there first? Do you think that's what he's doing? Or,
perhaps, if he's
just pushing to there, assessing the situation?
If he's going infantry, hang on, I think, the division just got changed. Okay, wait, no, it was 12, now it's 14. I think it's fine. I was confused then for a second because everything switched to having. Okay, what the? Okay, you seeing this on the Axis side?
What am I supposed to be seeing? The infantries?
Wait, we got it wrong. I think Muhammad is playing as the Axis. So the guy who did human wave last time. And
he is.
Yeah, okay. I was just because this is what's confusing me here. Look how many troops he has already. He's got 52 divisions.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. So he already has
he's doing the same division.
300,000 in the field, whereas
he's doing the same thing as last
the allied player 144.
He's doing the same thing as last time.
He's already doubled it. He's already doubled the. Well, for now. Yeah.
Sorry, so it is Muhammad. It's Muhammad with the Axis doing spec into air. Okay. I'm honestly, there's no way he does it again, right?
I think we're gonna see it again. I think we're gonna see it again because look, he's already out of manpower. He's just squeezing everything out. 385k in the field. Look, manpower doesn't have time, to get back up. Whereas you go to the allies, 170 in the field, training, sure, but he's full on manpower. So
He's naval invading.
Okay, we got another naval invasion being planned.
Okay, this is
Very cool.
okay. 2 divisions.
What do you think
on
gets to
each
Goatland first?
It depends who clicks faster, honestly.
Yeah.
When it starts.
Suicide kills. I love it.
So actually, on the topic of who gets to Gotland first, it's traveling through tiles. So it depends where the navies are launching from, for one thing, but also the side of the sea zone that they're on. So I think technically the Axis here will get to Gotland just a bit first, unless, well, there could be effects like weather could affect speed, but also just in terms of the positioning of where the navy's coming from. If you look, it's count as 1, 2, 3 into the port. 1, 2, 3 into the port. There's no port in Oslo. You'll have to build it yourself if you wanted to
yeah, that's right. There's one in Tallinn, yeah.
But yeah, so Danzig is just that bit closer, but the allies tend to have the stronger naval factions. So normally they can slow the naval invasions if they get dominance.
Yeah. Once again, man, this manpower difference of fielded armies is just insane to me. Without nothing, you know, having even started, it's so strong.
I think that the US, like, so, okay, the Allies are going down the US forces tree. So there's 8 days left. So they'll either go the 12th Army Group or they're going to go for the Marine Corps. And if I had to guess, I think he's might be going down the Marine Corps to try and make sure that, that A, Gotland's secured, and B, that this river line can be broken if he is stopped on it. I think maybe that could be the case. I'd be surprised. I don't really... but he's the one behind the river. It doesn't really need... No, he's going with the Army Group. Okay, here we go. So that is Smoke and Ashes. So that's towed artillery, bonus to towed artillery. Air-land battles. So that's 150 cats he gets automatically. Then we have 9 medium tank and 7 motorized infantry. So he gets 1 medium tank division. Big red one, he gets 2 infantry divisions that are pretty decent. Then he gets infantry division attack. We are going to see some towed rocket artillery bonuses, apparently. And then finally some max planning. So it does look like a little... like, it doesn't... well, at least here, let's see. Superior firepower doctrine. It doesn't look like there's any navy here. I could be wrong, but I don't think there is. No.
Axis player going for the Imperial Japanese military, by the way, once again for, you know, basically infantry equipment right here. 2 large infantry divisions for the 18th Chrysanthemum Division. So, you know, after he researches this, of course, new generals and stuff like that. 2 more large infantry divisions over here on the 62nd Stone Division. So, yeah, you gotta find a way to basically spawn, you know,
this
more
is gonna be
men.
I think that's what we're going to see here. The bicycle divisions will help get to the front line quickly, but yeah, like I said, it's going to be a grind. Looking at the navies, we've got 3 light cruisers and 8 destroyers on the Axis side, and on the Allies side, we have a battleship and 3 heavy cruisers. So it does look like the Allies are probably going to be taking Gotland and probably going to be holding it as well, because the Axis doesn't look like they're going to be speccing into navy of any kind. So in order to actually score points, the Axis need to get 3 of the 5 points. 3 of the 4 points that are on land here. And let's see. Still going for that naval invasion though. Again, I maybe he'll see that coming. But I think it's just gonna be. I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be a pure infantry grind. He's gonna go head to head.
It really is.
Let's see.
Seeing the Axis' plan as well, pushing for 3 victory points. Is he going for Naval here? No, right? No.
He is going for Naval. And was there? Let's see. He's got some medium tank. I mean, he's going for the same divisions as last time, which was very, very useful to him. He does have a motorized infantry, which is probably going to go for Memel immediately, if I had to guess. On the flip side, if we look at the production, a bit more varied with a more of a focus on close air support. Okay, so it's not too dissimilar in terms of production as they did last time. Some submarines. Okay. Bicycle infantry has been unlocked. How long left do we have to war? 30 days.
Yeah, just 30 days here.
I'm going to lean towards the Axis because for a pure infantry grind, having 424,000 troops in the field initially.
So you're seeing what he's doing right now with the research. So after bicycle messengers, he's going for warrior spirit, which of course, as Midge pointed out many times, the last stand is quite a lot more expensive to use in this mod that we're using for commanders. Whereas this right here, warrior spirit, makes it cheaper. So a
lot cheaper, and also gives organization
and defense.
For holding, but he has to actually get to the river line. Now, the difference in the sheer numbers is not too dissimilar to like it's not too dissimilar. I think it's about 40,000
for allies right now.
So right now for the allies, it's 383,000. What about you on the Axis?
So yeah, difference not that much, not that much. Okay, war starting in just 6 days here, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be a mad rush for Goatland. It's gonna be a mad rush for Lick, for Brech-Litovsky, and then Memel and Vilno. Well, Vilno for the allies, but Memel, it's pretty much anyone's game as we near December 30th right here.
Here we go. 1 day left.
It's time for threat level midnight.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Okay. Again,
it's a famous spy movie, but the war has started.
The war has started, and it does look like the allies were a lot slower than the Axis to get going there. A lot slower.
Oh yeah,
indeed.
look.
With a mass assault. It doesn't look like the allies are pushing.
Yeah. Well, are we not seeing things right, or aren't they doing anything?
I'm looking at them. They're not.
Axis already capturing Lick and Brech-Litovsky.
It's just taking them that long. Why is it taking them so much?
There we go.
So
Now they've started their push. Oh my God! If the Axis player went for Memel as well, he could have had it so easily.
He took Memel.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Took Memel. The infantry. Again, that is a lot of. I don't know what the hell happened there to make him so slow off the point. It does also look like the Axis has taken. The Axis has also taken Gotland. So we're
holding 4 victory.
Is it not 5? It's 5. That's all of them.
Oh, actually, yes, you're right. They got Vilno as well. Okay, so the Axis player, ladies and gentlemen, out of nowhere.
Now, really interesting. There is this one medium tank division, which is going to be quite crucial because it's a good division, right? It's a full division. Whereas the again, if you look at we could see him here. No, I thought he was going to go for Memel and go for encirclement. Instead, decided to try and push him out. We do see some bicycle divisions on the Axis side. I just want to flip back to the Axis here, and I'm going to see. Yeah, he has a couple of these ones with 1 medium tank, and those are going to be probably better for pushing. I mean, I think the allies need to really he needs to make use of that tank division once he has on the front line.
I think he needs to plug up the front line right here in the south. You see that hole just east of Vilno? Yeah. But no contention for Goatland right now. So what do you think? That's gonna be like safe? He don't gotta think about it or nothing like that.
It will be safe for now, and all right, now he's now pushing to see if he can land. Does not manage it. So he does have a couple of divisions that will try and poke holes in it. Frankly, I think he should wait off of Gotland. Like, unless he's going to dedicate more forces to it, he should probably be waiting and looking to try and pounce on a couple of these divisions. Again, a lot of what's it called? Command power being used on the Axis side immediately, and we'll see what happens with this tank as it potentially. I think there was an opportunity to go straight for Memel. Oh my God, you've seen this?
There was.
Look at north of Memel right now. If he pins them right now, then they're massively. Look at that. This could be huge. That's 24 divisions. That has to be missed. Okay, no, they've retreated now. Whoa. For a second, it looked like 24 divisions was going to be locked down there. But Memel has been approached. Let's see if I check here. Axis powers started to decipher allies side of things. 8 enemy divisions cannot pierce this enemy. So basically, the tank's pretty safe at the moment.
Getting pushed back in Memel a bit.
Again, I think there was that opportunity where he could have gone for Memel initially, and he would have encircled a bunch of divisions. But it's really
if he committed.
It's slow off the bat, and we do see he's already down 70 points. So we'll see where he goes from here. I mean, again,
it's ticking down pretty fast with all 5 VPs being controlled by the Axis.
And it'll tick down even faster the longer this goes on. The Axis has troops that are designed to hold. So this is going to be a bit of a rough one. Again, maybe he's baited in. Let's see. He needs to be pinning more. There are 2 divisions up north that could help with this. Memel could be a big encirclement if he gets this right. But no doubt the Axis player is staring at that and is ready for it. And we might see a counter we might see a counter encirclement here. This could be a massive break. Yep, this is going to be huge on the western flank.
You seeing this? This is.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing
I
it.
think if you just go straight to Riga, if you click on the supply map mode, if you click F4, that'll take you through that.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
You can go straight to that supply hub and cut off the entire western front.
Yeah, that's gonna be horrible.
If he pushes in properly, but again, overcommitting could be also a problem. Yeah, I don't see a way to victory at this present time for the Allies.
For the Allies, you think it's Jover? You think it's? This is the latest. You think it's Grover?
I think it might be Grover, dude. I think it might be Grover.
Yeah, capturing major cities, major supply hubs over here. Well, about to capture, you know, that one before. I'm not even gonna try and say these Latvian names, but yeah, already down to 388 victory points.
Yeah,
it seems like the ally player has like no plan. Just like last time, man.
He doesn't. He just needs to weather the storm because the Axis will run out of manpower at this rate. But
yeah, I mean, like this.
I don't know if he's going to be able to weather the storm. Oh, hang on. There's an opportunity in Palanga if he sees it. That you see it down here by the coast. That's 9 divisions that will be cut off if you just move some troops in, but they'll probably be pushed out immediately. So probably a better idea to wait.
I mean, he's got those guys from the south coming in here as well, near Panevezic.
But the supply situation does mean he's going to have to pull out of that.
Tiny little, well, there's actually... Is there a division there?
No, there wasn't a division there.
No.
Seeing a lot of last standing over here on the Axis. And again, if this is going to be a grind, then the Allies need to start finding a defensive line to hold somewhere here. Because they're getting pushed out pretty much every tile that, that is clicked. A counter-attack in Vilno is not going to be enough. Needs to maybe start looking for gaps in the line. What's the fielded manpower for the Axis at the moment, if you don't mind me asking?
662,000 currently.
Again,
the thing is, he's already gotten so far from VPs, man. From Memel, from Lick, and from Brest-Litovsky. The only one that's kind of close that, you know, the allied player can try and pull back some points on is Vilno right here, but really, I'm not seeing enough movement.
Oh, man. What, if you don't mind asking, how many divisions do the Axis have in total, roughly? Put me on your screen. Just eyeball it.
Oh, just eyeball it? Shoot, like 80 something? Almost 90?
Yeah. So over here, we're looking at 40-ish. So it's double the manpower.
Yeah, it's pretty much double.
Are comparable in strength, and that's kind of the big problem here. Again, Midge said one-trick pony, but the one-trick pony was not counted.
If the trick works, ladies and gentlemen, you can't say it in a negative connotation, all right?
Yeah.
It's you gotta go with something more positive. You know, like the jack of all trades, master of none.
There's a desperate play going for Memel, but they are going to get encircled pretty much immediately. He'll take the port, but nope, and he's going to be stopped. That's game. Look at that encirclement in northwest. That's game. 100% that's game. That's it. Like that was a last Hail Mary, a last desperate move, but absolutely is.
That's gotta be it.
I'm actually I think I heard a naval invasion for a second there. But I don't think anything's happening with that. Yeah.
I don't think
this is two very, very quick games. They're a lot quicker than the last two. Damn, this is a hell of a final.
I mean,
I've got to go sleep after this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
Listen, if you're feeling EP, me and Medj will take it from here. All right.
I know, but I might have to come back on.
Laith, do you want to stick around for the final? Are you forgoing, giving up?
I'm tempted. I'm very, very tempted.
Listen, we can three-way it.
I can definitely get a third casting box. We can three-way this if you really want.
You know what? It's 2 a.m., but I'm staying.
You're staying.
Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear, ladies and gentlemen. Our annoying colleague will remain
Our annoying colleague.
For the final.
Right, well, no,
at least with his microphone today, anyway.
Further,
wait, that's true. Is the microphone bad enough that you want me to bounce?
No. I think you should just try to fix it, though, in the next interim while me and Hawk take over, and then you cut back when you're nice and crystal clear, maybe.
Sure.
But you see this game.
It's not that much of a problem.
No.
It's not that much of a problem, but close to, close to Riga right here.
Front line.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no possible way to victory. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
I mean, to be fair, the Axis have more manpower like problems, I guess, in terms of like, the losses. Like there are definitely more orphans on the Axis side.
Push up to the river here, man. It's I think that's pretty much it. He gets to the river, it's over.
The allies need to set up a full back line to the river and maybe try and hold out. But frankly, there's a big.
It's just a waiting game.
That bad. He needs to pull back. He needs to pull back to the river. Like holding the front lines and cost them in blood isn't really working here.
Yeah. You know, we sometimes want to keep the suspense, but looking at how far, you know, the victory points just are from the allied player, man. Memecus and the third one out here. Now Vilno as well. Nothing happening with Goatland either. There we go. At the across the river from Riga. You know.
Yeah.
What else should we say right here?
There ain't nothing happening. It's
down to 250 victory points now. Less. I love GM.
Yeah, I mean the cast didn't really come into play. The Air Force did come into play. This was a battle of men, manpower, and
on
guns.
The banks in the northern section, just next to Riga.
He should hold the river line. That's what I'm saying. Like if he needs to retreat to the river line and hold there, because he wouldn't be able to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be able to push back, but he needs to hold it. Yeah. Like moving across the river isn't going to help. And again, he's pushing.
Are there two crossing points here, as far as I'm seeing?
No, they can cross across any of the front line. Like don't be fooled by the UI. They can cross anywhere on the river. Again, he's pushing up to the front line. It's a bad idea. He's been pushed out of that. He needs to go stay behind the river and sit and get the entrenchment and hold there. Pushing elsewhere, you're not going to contest him at this point. To what end? He has technically a better them out because game build. Like he should have a manpower difference. The Axis has run out of manpower, to be clear, right? Yeah. He's run out of manpower, and this is a heavy push. And they have comparable industries. If he needs to have a good defensive base right now, that's what needs to happen. Mm-hmm. So going behind the river line, I think, would be a better defensive move than trying to hold the forest. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I don't think the allies are out yet. I think they're just on the way. And I'm not sure why they're pushing forward to take this point. I don't know what the benefit is.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out, I guess. Maybe there's something big happening that you can't see, but it just feels like they're losing men and things for no discernible reason.
So that's what you would do if you were the allied player. You would hide behind the river. Now, what would you do if you were the Axis player to deal the death blow?
Honestly, just straight in.
Just go in.
Just go in. Legit, just go in. Like bleed him. Mm-hmm. Repeatedly attack the same place over and over again. Potentially. I'm interested to see this Navy stuff. Midge. Is this technically a rule violation? There's one heavy cruiser. Again, I don't think it's intentional.
Is it in port?
No, it's just hanging out
then, yes, that's technically a rule violation, yes.
Okay, do we let him know?
Who's
an allied task force?
I don't think it's doing much in terms of game impact. It's in the bay there.
Not doing anything at all.
Yeah, then, well, I mean, it could be providing shore bombardment. So if you click into one of the battles, if it's a heavy cruiser, anything a heavy cruiser and above could be giving shore bombardment.
Yeah, it's a heavy cruiser. I think it probably would give shore bombardment, I guess.
But at the same time, there seems to be no real.
How about this? If it gets involved, then we'll let them know. Yeah, otherwise, we'll let them focus because like it's a pretty dire situation right now. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be
stressful already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the shore bombardment is getting involved now. Midge, you're cool.
Red, if you go jump down and tell him if you could.
Yeah, this is the allied player?
Yeah.
Allied player.
Nope.
Okay, especially because it's a quiet moment now. I'm surprised that he's still alive.
The thing is, as well, a player at this point will not want to give up, mainly because this is their last chance at the final of the tournament if they lose this. So I understand why they're hanging on. You just got to be trying to think about what are you going to be doing? What's the point here that gets you through?
I will say. So there's 57 factories on the Allied side, right? And there's only 61. So they're comparable industrial bases, right? And the Axis has no manpower. The Allies have 100k. So it's not, if he can hold, it's not terrible. Like it's not the worst possible scenario to be in. It's just not, frankly, it's not good. And I have to see. Yeah, I'm not seeing a path to victory right now. Given that to me at least, this suggests an infantry-based thing. I just don't. I mean, I just don't see it. Like there has to be something, and frankly, with 98 life points left, he doesn't have long enough. He doesn't have long enough to get to. Oh, here it is. This is where the game ends, I think. But yeah, he doesn't have enough time to be able to wait him out, if that makes sense. Side for the Axis is completely decrypted, so he should maybe hold this. And now the counter push.
Yeah.
And now we might see something. And here we go, 43, 44. There's a chance. If there's a path to victory, it has to be here. It has to be now. But it doesn't look good. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. It's not looking great. It depends on if he's able to do enough damage. Because again, there are no reinforcements coming from the Axis. They have, I don't know, they got 42,000 men, I guess.
No, they got manpower. They got manpower. I mean, got it up a little bit compared to earlier.
100,000 more troops. How does he do it? How does he do it? I don't know. I don't know how he has this
rent
many.
a seat to every province in parliament and then roll for the manpower thing. It's so simple.
Sense,
Yeah,
it's just that easy.
The U.S. strat, baby.
Florius could never.
No. Well, it was Habibi, but yeah.
Okay. Recognizable names.
Yeah, down to just 55. You know, the most interesting thing. Well, maybe not the most interesting, but it's sort of a prestige thing. The clean sweep, never losing a single life point in the previous match and in this match so far. So going, with such a strong showing into the final, I feel like really it's a good mentality thing over here, By the way, speaking of the final, how, let's say I wasn't around, or for some people in the audience that weren't around for the previous match, and there we go, actually, GG's. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The same strat pays off. Jack of one trade, master of it. That's the new saying I got for you right here. That's the new saying I got. More positive style than one trick pony, but congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there we have it. We have our final. We have our two contestants, both of them going 2-0. Both of them very dominant performances. One of them not even losing a single life point, but one of them only using one singular trick. So we'll see if in the final
strategy
he gets exposed.
I will say, actually, just as I think that time I have to unmute myself from stream because apparently anyway, but Mohammed actually wasn't a full one trick there because he did implement tanks into his build. They were
he did it last time. He did that last time.
Yeah, and true. I'll have to check.
We're calling it the.
Are you still in the match right now?
Yes.
Can you check if he swapped to mass assault doctrine? He did. Okay, nope. I take it back. He is a one trick. He switched to a mass assault doctrine. I'm still in the game as well, so I just checked it out. Yep.
We're calling it the manpower strat.
Yeah,
right?
fair.
Yeah,
fair.
The Soviet strat.
He is the most one trick I've ever seen, but again, it works. And again, he had the same divisions last time. I think he had more of them. Well, actually, he might have converted them away.
Now, do you think our other finalist here, which is what I was going to get to, is watching this, analyzing, thinking, how do I beat his millions and millions of troops? Or do you think our other finalist that you observed, actually, and that his tricks, how is he going to fare?
I think if he does the same strat he did in the second game, he would beat this, to be honest.
And what was that strat? What can we expect here?
Space Marines. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good infantry. And they would do a lot of soft attack to what is fundamentally a very strong infantry. So yeah. We'll see.
Well, all right.
Let me know when I should dip to face my mic.
Yeah.
You can dip
right.
from now if you'd like. I will flip who's visible. So in the in I'm just gonna
Now you're in his lap.
Hello, little boy. What would you like for Christmas?
Out here, but it doesn't show up, so it looks like I'm just like grabbing hold of your arm.
Oh dear. Anyway, you go away. I'll sit with Hawk. Hawk.
I am small. I was gonna go away as well, but let's wait for him to come back and then I'll go away.
Yeah. So Hawk, I have to ask.
Yes.
You're not that big a Hoi player. This is your first time seeing commanders properly as well.
No,
How are you finding it? Like,
here's the thing, Midge. What you may not know is that I actually have 6,722 hours in Hoi 4, and I have watched, reviewed, rewatched, watched backwards, listened to an audiobook, and read every single Commanders match so far in the history. By the way, all 112 of them. So there you have it.
That's a lot of numbers. I think there has been a few more Commanders matches than that, but I won't fact check you right now in here. I believe you.
Listen,
You're a believable
You promised
guy.
you won't fact check me.
I promised I wouldn't fact check you at all. As if this was some sort of debate or something. Yeah. But how do you think this is going to match up? Like I've been saying, Mohammed is one of the best players in the world right now. But I've got to say, John had a pretty decent showing. John is a little bit nervous, I will have to say. He did say he's been beaten by Mohammed a few times, but he said he's got some strategies maybe to beat him. So again, this could be quite up in the air if I'm honest.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing if the two strategies will clash. You know, it's the classic. It's a tale as old as time. Going back to a little farther back, which is more my area of expertise, a little farther back than Hoi 4. It's the classic Russia versus Russia. All right. If I'm interested in seeing that strategy, will the small, extremely trained, extremely drilled, extremely well-equipped force be able to crush the overwhelming, manpower force, just the sheer number force, So I definitely want to see those two strategies clash, and I'm interested in seeing how that works out. But yeah. And
out of all the factions you've seen played thus far, what's been your favorite? What's caught your eye if you were to go as a player?
I liked
what faction would you like to learn first?
I liked the Democratic China one, honestly. The one that I saw. I don't know what's it called. Yeah,
the Communist China one, the manpower one. The heavy manpower.
Well, no, it had the Taiwan flag, though. Well, the ROC flag, didn't it?
Oh, Nationalist China got used as well?
I don't know. Well, whatever China we saw, doesn't matter. Whether it's Mao or... forgot his name. I liked whichever of the Chinese strats we saw right here. And actually, the Japanese... Yeah, Chiang Kai-shek. The Japanese one was pretty good. Earlier in previous games, I did like that little hungry thing, although it did feel kind of memey. So, I don't know. I'm interested in seeing some of the strategies that get banned more. Obviously, they get banned more for a reason, but, I'm interested in seeing those and interested in seeing what gets banned over here in these next rounds. But yeah.
I'm padding right now just a little bit to see what's going on just to see if Laith rejoins, because I will say I had a full scene ready for him to just still be on screen but fixing his mic, but because he's fully disconnected from the call, I'm not gonna flash this up. The placeholder's gone back in, and we've got Dankus joining.
It's Dankus, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. How are you feeling? Listen, some might say you're the most sweaty Hoi player, definitely the most sweaty Mechabellum player.
But, I don't have a Dankus impression like Laith does, so he's gonna have to go away for a little while. But yeah, I've been using Dankus as my placeholder in these scenes.
Listen, man, what can I say?
So
obviously,
I'm gonna gather that Laith will possibly reconnect halfway through, maybe. So I think we don't hold this up anymore. Let's get to our grand final. Let's bring these guys up and do the map and bands pick, shall we?
Do I have time for
You can
Yo.
you run. I'll do this. You run. I'll do this.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. So, John, Mohammed, hello.
Hello.
John,
Hello.
this is your map pick. What are you
Yep.
going for first?
At the gates.
At the gates. Okay. Mohammed, what faction would you like?
Access.
Axis. Okay, we're gonna ready up. My co-caster is just running very, very quickly. You two get ready. Do you have any idea of who you're going to take your first ban? If so, we can speed that up and do this like verbally now, and then we'll do it in game when they're back.
Who has the first ban?
It would be yourself, Mohammed.
Okay. Communist forces.
Okay,
Oh.
Communist China.
Vermont.
Which one?
The 9th Army.
Okay,
I think that's the right one. The one which gives you
the new one.
Yeah.
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 I
Okay.
know.
I believe it's 8th. Is it 8th Army Wehrmacht?
It's 9th.
Oh, is
It's
it
9th.
9th? Damn it, I need to go fix an overlay for tomorrow. Ignore me. It's like, you'd think, you know, as someone who helped design this mod, I'd know what I'd named all the factions, but no, apparently I don't. Either way, I'm going to ask you both now. Mohammed, out of 10, how are you feeling about this matchup? I'm putting you on the spot first. You got away with seeing how your opponent was last time, feeling them out. How confident are you feeling?
I mean 10, obviously.
Okay, 10. John, how much?
I think
how are
you're
you?
underestimating me.
Oh,
It's 50-50-50, I think.
50-50-50. What's the third option? Why has this been split 3 ways?
You never know what happens.
Well, okay. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna let you two just go in, psych up, and prep. And I'll whenever this game ready's up, feel free to start it. I'll ping you if it carries on for a bit, but I'm just gonna wait for my co-caster to come back, and I'm gonna take a moment to talk to chat and all of that. So good luck, have fun. We'll see you on the other side.
Midman?
Yes.
3 speed 2 days before war, right?
Yeah. Anywhere in the last week before. So 7 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Shall we just do it in December?
Shall they just do it in December indeed? But anyway, friends, hello. Just to cut in. 1, sorry about the tech issues today. 2, if you don't know what this is Hoi Commanders. We're going to be getting in game just in a moment's time. 3, thank you for your continued support for Parabellum in the off-season shows. We'll be back with, again, Hegemon will be starting this month. We will have the qualifiers this month for the main show to rehearse. Don't say that. Don't jinx it like that. Welcome back. Ready up when you're in the game. We'll start this game, and Laith can just join us through viewing the screen.
I've come.
We've done the picks and bans. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this grand final. I think it's going to be very interesting. The bans as well. Soviet forces have been banned. As it's not Soviet forces, Chinese communist forces have been banned away from the Allies, and 9th Army Wehrmacht has been banned away from the Axis. Which, again, 9th Army Wehrmacht, I don't know if it's been seen yet, but it is a mass assault tree. It makes a lot of sense as to why John wants to get rid of this. And we haven't had this map yet for you. This is At the Gates. So we'll see these bans going in just now. So 9th Army Wehrmacht, and we've got communist forces. They're going to be starting this game here. Welcome everybody to Hoi Commanders. This is the competitive mod for Hoi 4 that brings it into 1v1, 2v2 and 3v3 scenarios. This is the map At the Gates, and we are in the grand final of Group 8 of the tournament. This is these players, one of these two players, John Love's Microplastics or Mohammed. Either one will be moving forward to the main World Championships, where there is 5,000 euros on the line. The end of today, one of these players is walking away with 250 euros as well as some, I believe, some Gotterdammerang merch. So there is stuff on the line with this next best of 3. In just 2 to 3 games, we will have a champion tonight. Mohammed is rated really high at the moment, but he's struggled in other group stages. This is his last chance to defend his world championship title. John is relatively new to the scene. He's young. He wasn't able to compete before, I believe. So this is his first shot at the limelight. And here we go. So this is a 5VP map. The key features of this map for your knowledge here, Red. The 5VPs are Tambov, Voronezh, Mikhailovka, Milorovo, and Stalingrad. The key focus of fighting, where we're going to see it, is mainly around Tambov. Weirdly enough, right at the top of the map. And the reason for it is stretched thin between other supply hubs, and because it's so close to the corner of the map, you can cut the entire area off and crush armies against the edge of the map and cut them off of supply. Other key things to note, Boris Oblast, taking that supply hub allows you to, as it works like a pivot point between Tambov and Mikhailovka, dominating that. And between the 5VPs, there's a huge river, for one, but there's also large amounts of plains, which means tanks, fast-moving vehicles will really catch up speed. There will be a lot of infantry on this map as well, because this map, being bigger, has an inflated manpower pool. Therefore, the players will be able to produce more troops. So expect lots of troops. Honestly, this is one of my favorite maps to watch matches on.
Going back to the strategies we were discussing just before this, who picked, while I was away, who picked this map?
Who picked this map? This was John's map pick.
It's interesting that you say that because, you know, based on what you've seen so far, you would expect that Mohammed would pick a map that, you know, lends itself to more manpower heavy, you know, a more manpower heavy scenario like this. So, you know, do you think our little microplastic lover right here might have inadvertently offered the advantage to the other player? Or do you think he's going to be going with a strategy like that as well?
I actually reckon this is bait. I reckon this is trying to bait the mass manpower build, because this, I reckon John might have worked out a counter. I have a little bit of insider info as well, because I know that John has been working really hard on trying to counter Mohammed specifically. And Mohammed, ever the graceful player, has actually been saying to people, if he doesn't make it through the group stage, he knows he didn't try hard enough, and he knows he doesn't deserve it. But from all intents and purposes, what we've seen today, he is a cut above the rest, even if he is a one trick. Like, we are seeing really expert plays. Well. Yeah. So it's going to be I think this is going to be a case of micro versus macro. I think John might have the better builds, but I think just Mohammed is such a solid player that even if he gets countered, we're going to see some strength from him. So I think this is going to be a tight matchup. My one fear as well is at the gates is a familiar map to Mohammed. This came out while he was still an active player, rather than some of the maps that we've added recently. I would be tempted myself to be picking, if this was my map pick, to pick, say, Desperado or Allegiance or one of the much less frequently played maps, and try to catch Mohammed out just on map knowledge as well. That would possibly be my goal to, you know, the David and Goliath scenario that we might actually have here. Yeah. So, good map right here. Lots of other, you know, supply hubs, so to say, that can be captured right here. Good strategies, especially up in the north. Now, what about this region down here in the south near Astrakhan? Is that any sort of, you know, point of contention? Obviously, it's not a victory point, but, you know, could you pull a sneaky something down here in the south? What we see happen a lot
near
between
Astrakhan.
Yes, so between Rostov and Astrakhan, this whole area of plains, normally this will only get extended to by the thinnest line. Much like across the Rhine, there's that southern area where players don't always advance into. That's the same down here. However, if you're going any mass assaultries, you will try to exploit this. People will try to do mid to late game pushes through here just to try and activate people's APM. It will be one of those areas where we will have to keep an eye on it, but it's going to be the least focused front. But it's one of those places that you can also catch people off guard. We'll see a lot of fluctuation in the front line down here as well. It's all plains. It's not very defendable terrain, so there will be a lot of back and forth between these two bends in the river.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. So yeah, the game is officially unpaused, ladies and gentlemen. Our little early game setup right here has finished, and as both of our players obviously start off with the furthest right, focus branch, the industrialization one. Pretty soon we'll be seeing what actual, branch they get into right here. So if we see something, familiar, we're definitely gonna have a sort of an idea of where this game is gonna go, for a certain, or where they hope it's gonna go.
Absolutely, we're already seeing survivability studies and heavy MG come in for Mohammed, which means he is going to put a focus in planes. Meanwhile, our Axis player our allied player John is focusing mainly on his industry early. No look to planes yet. The other thing to note, if you've never seen this mod before, our players will, in the current meta, be starting their rapid industrialization, going down all the way to final arms industry, and then about the 130-day remaining mark, we'll start to see faction picks, and these builds, start to vary out. The other key thing we want to be looking at early is the production queue, a very, very standard array of production from both our players, mainly focusing on infantry equipment and artillery, a little bit more focus on logistics from our allied player than our Axis player. But it's very subtle. Actually, these builds now are identical. They've just flipped their production around.
I don't think they differ
are
at all,
actually
pretty much.
identical. The only other difference I've seen thus far is Mohammed flicked 2 researchers, and John only flicked 1. Like that's the only difference in this play thus far.
Yeah. Very cool. We're almost, halfway into the year right here. Towards 1941, the warm-up is starting. We aren't seeing any battle plans being drawn up as far as I can tell yet. Obviously, this is a pretty much a no navy map, right? Like what would you do with a navy right here? So yeah, that's another interesting aspect that maybe these players don't gotta worry about. There was a slight navy in the first one, trying out some jukes right here. Early navy important, I feel like, for capturing Goatland right here in the previous map, in the previous semifinal. But on this one, it's really all just troops, ladies and gentlemen. Now, having observed Mohammed right here for a third game already, I can safely say that his start so far has been identical to what he's been doing so far. So doing the same research, obviously, it's the meta getting started on the industrialization and stuff. But along with that, also, the research that he's been doing, starting off with some of the plane stuff and the support stuff, and then some, machinery stuff. So yeah, it's pretty much the same ones that we've seen so far. So very, very exciting right there.
Yeah,
will that strategy pay off?
Yeah, it's a very drilled build. Every single moment is rehearsed. Like we've seen as well with Mohammed, he's already put on a member of military staff to start getting XP going. He's waited on certain focuses to know that he needs the extra 2 moments of political power gain instead of going for focuses. Everything is drilled to perfection. And again, it's going to come down to what John does to possibly counter that. It is someone who has like I said, it's a one-trick pony, but it's an excellent one-trick pony. I'm not going to say it. This is a world-class one-trick pony. Versus someone who's almost forced to be a little bit more creative with the build in order to try and get the upper hand.
For sure. Getting halfway through August here, ladies and gentlemen. Still research being done. There we go. Final arms industry has been completed by Mohammed right here. Imperial Japanese military is what he started researching. So going down that branch, and we're going to see the same exact branch that we saw just now in the match before this, in the second match of the second semifinal. I think obviously he's once again going down Imperial Japanese Army, Bicycle Messengers, Warrior Spirit, and then if there's time, the Chrysanthemum Division, Arisaka as well. All of these right here on this right Imperial Japanese Army branch of the focus tree. So yeah, No real battle plans being drawn up just yet right here by the Axis. Allies, we're seeing a push, an attempt for a very far push right here past Mikhailovka, past Borisov Glebs right here, which is a supply hub, all the way past Milerovo, hopefully. But as we all know, the Axis player right here is super fast with his starts, and the Allied player... what's the Mitch, help me out here. What's the 5th Guards Tank Army?
Well,
that's the Soviet one.
That's the Soviet left side. So this instead, I was thinking when I saw Red Army clicked in, I thought we were going to see a 3rd Shock Army, because I know John loves microplastics is on the Hoi Commanders Discord. His name is actually 3rd Shock Army Enjoyer. It is his favorite faction. But 5th Guards Tank Army is a really, really strong, heavy tank build. So the idea here is you get the ISU-152 tank destroyer, you get tank production, you get a heavy tank division, you get bonuses to heavy tank and super heavy tank production, you get 2 mechanized divisions, so really tough armored infantry divisions, you get... mechanized production. You get division speed, armored division attack in the end cap, motorized attack, cavalry attack, and mechanized attack in the end. And then it combines into no step back, which is, again, those really good outer supply penalties. So we might be about to see what you've asked for. That quality versus quantity build. This is definitely a solid quality tree. This is about small divisions that are essentially impenetrable.
Yeah. Very, very exciting. Pretty much exactly what I wanted to see right here. How will those fare against each other? The Axis player right here already down to Arisaka immediately instead of bicycle messengers like last time. Of course, this grants him infantry equipment production cost minus 10% and plus 10% soft attack as well.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, pretty much the specs that we, well, maybe not expected, but hoped for. Just like Mitch said, quantity versus quality. Now, in a war of attrition, Mitch, who would you give it to? Quantity or quality?
I think the thing is, in a war of attrition, the quality is going to come out if the positioning is correct. This map is huge. There is such a wide front line. If the Axis go mass assault and manage to overwhelm the Allies, if there is a single break that can get exploited, it's almost over. Like, as soon towards the end of the Across the Rhine that you guys watch, where it was just encirclement after encirclement, we will have that replicated here. Yeah. The key thing to watch out for will be the breakthroughs. That being said, Mohammed's divisions will not penetrate that heavy tank. They will not break through any lines that have those involved. And so I would be really intrigued to see the division comp for the Allies, whether they keep that singular heavy tank or if they create some sort of hybrid Space Marine utilizing those. I will say divisions in the field are looking pretty despair comparatively. It is 88 divisions for the Axis versus 58 for the Allies. That is a 30 division difference. No matter how strong your divisions are, if they get encircled, this game gets real risky.
What's fielded manpower for the Allies? Let me know real quick.
Fielded manpower for the Allies, yes. It is 489k.
621k for the Axis. So he just gets them out immediately, man. As we're near Christmas right here, ladies and gentlemen, people already starting to celebrate Christmas Eve somewhere around the world and not knowing of the doom that awaits them right here in the Great Plains of well, what do you want to call it? Eastern Europe? Yeah, Eastern Europe near Asia, man. December 26th right here. We're about to get started. We're seeing the battle plans drawn up. This northern line, this northern, guy will go over Tambov, Mikhailovka. Then you got these southern guys, which are kind of disconnected from here. They got to kind of go all the way around, push all the way to the front. There we go, December 29th. My eyes are on the Axis. Let's see. Warrior Spirit completed and war.
War is upon us, yes. I hate to break it to you, Parabellum audience. Laith has gone to bed.
Oof.
So you're stuck with us.
Massive push. Good night, Laith.
Good night, Laith. And good night, Allied Advance. They're not even leaving the starting block, and the Axis are pushing ahead.
He's so fast. He's so fast at the start. One victory point already captured. We're about to see him push to Milerovo as well. 2 victory points already captured, ladies and gentlemen. Stalingrad at the outskirts of Stalingrad. It's about to be captured, but he stopped just short. Tambov has been captured as well. Officially, Mikhailovka has been captured.
That's 5 VPs.
There we go. He holds all
John's
5
not moving.
VPs.
What's going on?
He holds all 5 VPs. There we go. Started a little push over here.
What is this play? What is this play?
The Axis overextended itself.
I mean,
Was
maybe.
It a bait? Was it a bait? Come to me. He's already pushing into, his territory.
I'm kind of shocked at what's going on here, what we're seeing before our eyes. The Allied player just didn't move.
He just didn't do anything.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pans out for them. But you can see...
Termed this blitzkrieg. Is that what we just saw, Midge?
I don't know, but the thing is as well, the Axis have so many more troops on the line that they're just absolutely brutalizing through the south. There's 5 cavalry divisions that have just been set on to go walkies. They're going full encircle. They're looking to just move. What's going on?
Oh my God.
The Allies are pulling all the way back. What are we seeing?
Where is he retreating to? Does he have a fallback line?
He's
looking at the Axis right now. Allies right now. I don't see it. He doesn't have a fallback line.
He's got a fallback line. It's just below the Urals.
Now I see it. Yeah. Now I see it.
What is the strategy?
They have already pushed up to there. He's about to take Uralsk right here. Well, not really, but just looking at supply right here, man. If he takes Saratov and Balkovo,
Okay, I understand what's kind of going on. John's looking to see if Mohammed will take the bait going into these planes, and he's using the tanks to kind of counter in and counter click, so those cavalry are going to die. So he's trying to kill off the advantage, but those bicycles are going to go around. He's about to hit the capital. Are we going to see the Allies just accidentally capitulate, or is Penza enough? The problem is over 50 VPs have already dropped because of the 5 VP bleed.
Yeah. And it's going down so quick.
What is going on here?
Look at this push down here in the south. Where's that army going to? Towards Aktobe?
So if you click into the axis, you'll see that this has just been, and you hold over the division. It is just trying to cut off Urfa and Mantinogorsk, and then cutting back into near Kubashev. It is just trying to rip through supply hubs and supply lines and really break up the supply.
Yeah.
Like if a division managed to get into Kubashev from the axis, it moves the capital and it will move back here. And then if this back cavalry was cutting that off, all supply originates from a capital. So if the capital's moved, it won't move back.
Yeah.
So the supply lines will be extended, and there's a chance that the entire front line could get cut off. But in the meantime, there is now battles across every single line of the front. One of those bicycles looks to be trying to make its Hail Mary way back to the front line. Maybe it's rushing to Penza. I'm not sure what's going on. But the Allies and the Axis are just now meeting again. Oh god, that encirclement has been unpinned. The bicycles, they're trucking all the way to Kubashev. He's gonna get to Kubashev. He's in Kubashev. Let's see where the capital moves to.
Penza.
Okay,
moved to Penza.
He got lucky on the switch. But if Penza falls,
oh my god, he's right. He's starting a push now there. Do you think he's just sacrificing some of these, right?
He's got to be. He's got to be. He's just trying to tie up forces in the south.
Yeah, he's trying to link them up now. Yeah.
But there's now a breakthrough in the main line.
Where is that? Where is that?
Just near Penza. The main line is pushing to Penza. And that's broken through. They've linked up. Yeah, he's linked up with the bicycles. I don't know about this. I don't know.
He's bleeding life points so quickly, down to 390 already, ladies and gentlemen. So if Penza gets captured, where do you think it moves?
It would go to it would probably go to Magnitosk.
Why do you think that? Mechanically speaking.
I think it's we tend to go through. Honestly, I think it's to do with proximity to front line, but also victory point value. Kazan's 10, Magnitosk is 15, so it will go to Magnitosk.
Yeah. Now, I mean, even if this was a bait, man, right? Let's say this was some sort of bait, maybe.
He's losing troops, though. He just had a division encircled and destroyed just south of Penza, so it's like... Yeah, if this was a bait,
another
it
one
hasn't
right here,
panned out.
South of, in Saratov, or in Engels, actually. Shout out to all my communists, but... Yeah, so he's just sticking around Magnitogorsk, right? With this Cav division over here up in the mountains. Yep. Yeah. So what was I gonna say? I forgot right here, man. Yeah. So even if you think this is some sort of like 5-head galaxy brain move from the allies to try and bait this player right here to use up his manpower, still 1 million manpower for the Axis, 700,000 in the field, and the allies are so far from some of these victory points, ladies. Oh,
counter encirclement just got near Penza. The problem is the allied divisions are so heavy in their supply usage. Like
he's gonna get Penza,
and they're not.
He has to at this point.
I think we might be able to say capitulation and coming in very soon. This is so rough.
53% right now.
I'm now starting to believe if there was lag or something, or maybe a misclick, and
but no,
and just nerves coming on in.
Mohammed starts on the previous 2 matches, at least the ones that I expected, were so quick, and his opponents weren't that quick to react. Like, that's got to be like an APM thing at this point, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, just boom, 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 do everything. You feel like it's macros or something. Now, regarding connecting his little line right here down to the south, why do you think he's not doing it? Do you think he's leaving that open right here on purpose?
I don't think so. I think that's just APM. I think he's so focused on the possibility of entrapping the entire allied army in the north.
A little encircled up north.
Yep.
There you go. He's linked back up. Okay. Ooh. Just south of Balakovo right here.
Yep. 2 divisions.
We may have a situation.
2 more divisions. The thing is, that's not even the biggest situation. There is a unit currently pushing near Ulanov. Ulanovsk, and I was saying crushing armies at the top of the map is a winning strategy for this. And honestly, that might happen to the entire allied front line.
So all he's got to push through is this 41st something division, right?
Yep.
Up north.
Yep.
So we might have another encirclement down south near Uralsk.
Yep. Yep. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
His troops are just disappearing.
Yeah.
What's the allies' fielded manpower right now?
400. They lost
700,000 for the Axis, ladies and gentlemen. This is turning into a slaughterfest right here, especially near Penza and maybe this entire northern portion of the army. And 3 more encirclements right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you look down south, Mitch.
Yeah, I've kept an eye on it, but I'm just waiting for the big ender here, because again, Ulanovsk is now under threat. The first encirclement failed. A second one will fall. Honestly, this is looking like very early war recreation here of the Soviets. And there it goes. The entire allied army encircled. The entire allied army has been encircled because the capital has now moved to Magnitosk. There's 1 division that is not cut off from the capital, and that is going to be game. There is no coming back from this. I'm sorry, this is game. Nothing can be done here.
No other way to put this. There's no other way to put this. Oh my god. Yeah, this is insane. Look at this stack right here. They're just dying off right now. Pretty much. This other stack, tiny stack here. This little circle here. These guys over here. Yeah, only guys are left alive in that capital. And luckily, the little Cav regiment is being held off right there by 1 other regiment just south of Ufa. Otherwise, I think he'd bolted to the capital.
This doesn't seem like the same John we saw in the first semi-final, though. This really doesn't.
You know what this proves to us, though? You know what this proves to us?
What does it prove?
It's quantity over quality.
Right now,
I think that's at least what it proves to me. Look at this, man. His troops are just disappearing.
Look at the casualties. Look at the war casualties. almost
I'm seeing it.
400,000, 500.
I'm seeing 92% towards capitulation. We haven't seen a wipe like this, ladies and gentlemen, in a long time.
No.
I have to say.
No.
Me, of course, having watched every single episode of Commanders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is.
There we go.
I don't even know
Up to 440,000 losses now, and it's about to be even more with these.
We might be
16.
We might be about to
divisions?
see far less than
We
16
might be able to
divisions
see
now. Their
more.
helmets are popping left, right, and center. We might be about to see the second ever capitulation of this group stage, finals, of all the finals. I don't think I think only one person thus far has gone to capitulation rather than surrender. There it is. That's capitulation. I got a game over screen. That's a capitulation victory. Holy smokes. I don't know what to say. It was just a wipe.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say right there, bro. That's like some Rain Man type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was really good.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
Really good.
That was a textbook way of playing. Thing is, this is going to be Mohammed's Mac pick next.
Yeah.
John will get faction, but there's going to be more bans. Let's find out, shall we? GG's.
Such a good game.
GG's.
Mohammed, you're hosting now, and it is your map pick. John.
Yeah.
What was the strat, buddy?
You see,
When?
it didn't work though.
Okay. Look, sometimes plans don't survive contact with the enemy. The real question is, do you have a different strat for this next game?
Oh yeah. I have plenty of strats.
Okay. Hope he is.
I didn't get my tanks in my divisions in time because he just kept attacking. That was the issue. I couldn't like edit the template or I would be broken.
So the time just got away from you feel?
Yeah, and if I got martial of victory a bit earlier, but
Fair enough. So Mohammed, what map are we playing?
We're playing Rhineland.
Okay, that means John, you have your pick of the factions.
wait, let me just join. It's not.
What do you think about the password, Midgeman?
I think that's a great password. If I'm
Oh, I
totally
forgot.
honest. It's like one the.
It's a pretty hard password.
Yeah, it really is.
Hey.
I know.
No clues.
It's a really hard password. He's right.
No clues.
What faction would you like, John?
What was banned again? Sorry.
What's been banned? Communist China and 8th Army Wehrmacht. I remembered
Ninth.
for once. Oh, 9th. Yeah. All right.
Okay. And what were the second game bans?
We haven't done those yet.
Oh yeah, true.
We haven't done. That's what I'm about to ask you when we find out what factions you're playing.
Okay.
So yeah, John, what faction would you like?
I have picked Axis.
You want Axis? Okay. So Mohammed, you are on Allies. Okay, let's ready on up and get in game for the bans. I could have sworn that it was 8th Army Wehrmacht in when I wrote the faction, so it might actually be why I keep saying 8th instead of 9th. Because I kept going, this is the same number as the Commonwealth. Anyway,
So
okay.
9th
9th
and
Communist.
and
who you
Communist.
ban? John. Okay, now we are ban.
Okay,
Go
now,
ahead.
John, your pick to ban.
This is a difficult decision. Want to ban now? Okay.
Twelfth Army Group. Okay, Mohammed, you're banned.
Okay, I respect that. I ban 4th Army.
4th Army. Okay, good luck. Have fun. We'll see you on the other side, gents.
All right.
All
Here
right.
we are in game, ladies and gentlemen. Mohammed once again the Axis, John once again the Allies. Now with the bans right here, Midge, and knowing sort of knowing their metas right now, let's assume they're going to do the same thing. The quality, the heavy divisions versus the quantity, the infantry divisions once again. And with these bans in play now, what do you think we're going to see right here for the allies first, for example?
I think with the allies, I think it's going to go a little tried and true. I think I'm going to see something that I see John play Mohammed play relatively frequently. I think we're going to see something along the lines of either a Commonwealth 8th Army or we might see Nationalist China. I know he likes mass assault, so I wouldn't put it past having a Nationalist China pick. Surprise pick could also be 3rd Shock Army. Again, another mass assault. It's going to be down to familiarity, I think, now with Mohammed. He doesn't want to change his track. He knows what works. He knows how to play his map. Like, this is his map pick as well. This is the OG map, second map we ever made on Commanders. Like, he so knows this map, so he knows how to win. The real question is going to be John. John is going to be the one to watch. I'm intrigued.
What about the axes? What are you thinking here?
So, Panzer Group West hasn't been banned. That is, on paper, one of the strongest factions in the game. It gets a mix of air. It gets motorized divisions. It gets a heavy tank division. It gets production on tanks. It gets bonuses to engineers and entrenchment speed, so it's quite defensive. You get less supply consumption. You get out of supply penalties and supply range, so you don't have to worry about the supply hubs just as much. You get free tanks in the center line. You get anti-tank and anti-air in that center line. The end cap gives you division attack, armored division attack, and attacking division speed. It's a really strong tree. Outside of that, a wild card pick, I reckon we could probably see a Finland. Which is over on the furthest left. Army of the Isthmus is something that people come to a lot. It is what we call a no-air build. So the idea of this build is that the buffs you get from the tree mean you take less damage from air, so you don't need to worry about putting as much air into production. And instead, you can pump out more troops or bigger divisions or stronger divisions because you take less damage from CAS, for example. It's all about camouflage tactics. And then the other thing is, I don't think Army of the Po has been banned. Army of the Po is really strong right now. It gets a lot of motorized breakthrough and motorized divisions. It's all about lots and lots of trucks. It's based off of the Italian idea of the fast corps, something they never actually fully built in World War II. So it's a little bit of a little bit alt history. I mean, all of these have a little bit of alt history about them.
Of course,
but it's all about speed. It is the Lightning McQueen of builds. It's 100% just all about rushing. It's rush tactics. It's Sukabliet rush B. Like that's it's all it is. But yeah, game's still paused. People getting their early game ticks in right now. If you've never seen this before and you wonder what the heck we're talking about, welcome to Hoi Commanders. It's a total overhaul mod.
Hello.
It is a total overhaul mod for Hoi 4 that brings it into a competitive light. It has 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3 scenarios. This is Group Stage 8 of the World Championships of the 1v1 tournament. One person will either draw this out for another game, or we will be sending someone through to the World Championships right after this. They'll win 250 euros and secure their spot and a chance of winning 5,000 euros in the coming days. This is the final chance for anyone to get into the World Championship. And we are on across the Rhine. This is one of the 1v1 maps. It has 3 victory points that you need to be aware of: Amsterdam, Cologne, and Frankfurt. But what do these victory points do? Well, there are 3 ways to win a commander's game. Either you capitulate your enemies, you force them to surrender, or you drain their life point total directly to vaguely go off of Yu-Gi-Oh! But basically, if you own the majority of VPs, you see there is a 500 versus 500 above me on the screen or at the top of the game bar. Basically, if that reaches 0, it's game over. Bleed your opponent. The key ones on this are, like I said, Amsterdam, Cologne, and Frankfurt. 1 on each side of the Rhine for the Allies and Axis favored. And then Amsterdam, which is, yes, it's on the Axis side of the Rhine, but it's closer to the Allies. all of which will be fought over, all of which will be the key points. The main strategy right now, the things that we're going to be looking on the early game, once the war starts, there's a 275-day build-up period before war starts, just so you know. Who gets to Cologne first, and then who controls Utrecht, Dusseldorf, Koblenz, and Bonn. Those are like pivot points, which you can use to put pressure on the 3 VPs. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Are you noticing anything in the tech? Anything I need to be aware of initially? We seeing anyone going for air early? What do we got?
Yeah, nothing special. Just the standard starts right here for the allies. Improved machine tools, dispersed industry, rapid industrialization start. You know, for the Axis right here, research, same thing. So I'm just seeing a battle plan being drawn out immediately right here for the Axis. John doesn't want to catch himself off guard, not doing anything this time. But yeah, for the allies, still standard. You know, you got this thingy right here being set up. It's just waiting now. It's just waiting. Game is about to be on pause pretty soon, I think. You're right here, ladies and gentlemen, in just about a minute or two, I'm thinking. And we'll get going with our mad rush to January 1st, 1941, and then our mad rush to the victory points. Obviously, Frankfurt, super close to the Axis. We would expect them to get it, but, you know, last time, man, we were doing this map. We were expecting them to split them evenly, but no, it all went to the Axis player, which is now the Allies player. Poland, obviously, expected to go to the Allies right here, and then Amsterdam really could be anyone's game. It's about equal distance. There might once again be a little naval play right here, just a little bit to try and, you know, poke at the back of your enemy to distract them a little bit, but no real strats, I don't think, are gonna come from there as we get ready to get started.
What I think I personally would be doing right now. Yeah. Mohammed has been king of getting to those VPs first. However, we saw John do something in his previous matchup which would instantaneously counter what Mohammed does with that rush.
Yeah.
The thing is, paratroop the VPs to stop the advance. Yes, it's an investment, and you've got to get to those paratroopers to stop them getting encircled. But the thing that people have been losing out on is they've given just that too much ground to Mohammed day one. If you can secure the VPs and, you know, make him work for getting that bleed on you.
No one's pushed him back as the thing.
Exactly, that's what I'm going for.
We want to talk about the quantity right here, but he's gotten to them first every time. So if he gets to them, it's always an uphill battle for you to take them from him, because your time is now ticking, not his. Your time is ticking. Your life points are going down, and maybe a psychological aspect comes into play here, Midge. You know, you're like, okay, frick, now I'm losing. Okay, what do I do? What I wanted to do didn't work. Now I got to do something else. Oh, but I can't because he's doing this. Oh, he just came, you know, out of my ass, blah, blah, blah. He's in the bottom now, you know? So I think we're about to see interesting stuff right here. I think, man, Amsterdam, you know, Cologne, I'm expecting, let's keep it balanced. Cologne, Allies, Frankfurt, Axis, and then let's see who takes Amsterdam.
Do you know what I think would be the marker?
And look. Survivability studies, heavy MG.
Is that from the Allies or the Axis?
That's the Allies.
Okay, so
it's what we've
there's
seen.
a slight difference between day one. There's a slight difference in this mod compared to normal Hoi, which is we have a day one block on paratrooper jobs. So as soon as the war starts, it's actually day 2 of the war that paratroopers can drop, because what we were finding is that actually it takes a while for planes to get into the sky, and paratroopers only require planes in the region. The planes don't actually have to be flying for people to fall out of them, apparently, in terms of the game mechanics working. So we were like, that shouldn't be how that happens. So even if someone had a majority of fighters, it wouldn't matter and wouldn't stop paradrops. So we've made it so that paradrops can only happen on day 2 of the war, meaning there's time for fighters and at a contested airspace. So the fact that Mohammed has already gone for that's going to be problematic to my idea of a plan of how I would counter it. Okay, how do I go for it a second time? I'm going back to what I was saying about Army of the Po. Army of the Po is about speed. Rush it. Literally, get in a car and drive. If you're not going to be able to fall out of a plane, jump on a car, like
Yeah.
get there. I honestly, I think the Axis player needs to prioritize more Amsterdam and Cologne than they do Frankfurt. Frankfurt's on their side of the Rhine. Even if they lose it, they don't have a river to cross to take it back. The others, they would. Like
Going back to the manpower thing once again, it's once again double.
Oh,
at
what, in
this
the
stage
field?
of the game. In the field,
He's
it's
just
once again
so
double.
good at training
Just
troops.
squeezing it out, It's just, you know, milking it. And look, Allied player on Final Arms Industry expansion, Axis player as well. So both of them, they're super on time with their early, you know, meta research that we've got going on right here with the industry stuff. And yeah, man, it's pretty close right here. July, we're sort of halfway through the whatever you want to call it, the unpaused setup period before the war starts. So yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. I like this map, especially because of the lots of the supply options that you have here, Mitch. You know, I think the supply is really strong on this map. I don't know if...
Yeah, so when we designed all the maps, they all have their own like benefits and tangible differences. This map, it's not a supply map. Sonnenblume, which we haven't seen today, there's no supply. Like, there's supply hubs, but there's no connections, and the players actually have to build their supply networks as they advance. So there are unique challenges to each map. That's why some maps have island VPs, some maps don't. Some are land focused, some are air focused, some are navy focused. That's kind of the design philosophy of the mod. This is, I said it to Laith, this is our Dust 2. If this is CSGO, this is our Dust 2. The most straightforward map. It's got a few little things you can do, but it is the go-to. Okay, what are we seeing?
We've got the Red Army on the Allies side.
Okay, so we're going to see, we are 100% going to see Third Shock Army coming out here. 100%.
Very strong right here, ladies and gentlemen. Army experience, Navy experience. You know, you got production discounts of 20% right here in soft attacks, paratrooper divisions. It's really good, and that's just the early ones. Later, motorized. I'm really excited to see the speed right here. What about the Axis?
The Axis of either he's going to try and fight Mohammed at his own game and go for Imperial Japanese Army, go mass assault, or we're about to see something really ridiculous happen and he's picking off.
Yep. That's exactly what he picked. The Imperial Japanese Navy, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so let me walk you through Imperial Japanese Navy, Red Hawk, because this hasn't happened. So Imperial Japanese Navy is all about ships and boats and marines. It gives you some really strong...
by the name.
It gives you some really strong marines. It has the strongest possible navy in the game. It does have amphibious Amtraks. Like, you can get the funding the Katsu gives you like landing vehicles and stuff. I'm a little bit perplexed. Okay, yes, this gives you some really good marines, and marines are really good at river crossings. That could be really useful. I'm just worried that they're not going to be able to get enough in the field fast enough for this to matter. Also, I've seen no investment in expanding the dockyards, so they're not building a navy. They're only going to get the navy. Therefore, if they're going for like naval invasion back cap, could work. But it's like, I'm going to let him cook. I'm 100% going to let him cook here. But it's an out there build. It is an out there build.
I gotta say something right here.
Yeah.
You know, all of this coulda, shoulda, woulda, this could happen, that could happen. We love to talk about those things. I love it. You love it. But when you look at the manpower in the field, when you compare Allies to Axis, ladies and gentlemen, I'm even afraid to say that we might honestly see a repeat of last time. Dare I say it? Even dare I say it? Mitch, do you dare say it?
I don't dare disagree right now. I think John's got some really weird ideas going on, and put it this way: for such an absurd strategy, I mean, we could be very wrong, but such an absurd strategy to be pulled out in your lifeline game of a final feels like way too big of a risk when you are up against the world champion. Yeah. Like, Mohammed is the faker of this.
You're seeing this?
I am.
Operation Fusillade.
I am seeing Operation Fusillade. It is looking to be that Mohammed is taking my advice. I wonder if he's been psyched out in the fact that he thinks John might do this and therefore he's going to try and drop himself.
They even add a bit on manpower in the field.
Now, here's the thing. The Allies...
We may have spoken too soon.
The thing is, with this map, the Allies are in a position where they can be capitulated navally. I wonder if John is going to, and hear me out, he's going to wait for Mohammed to commit all of his forces into the VPs.
And once they're super far from Paris, he
go
goes
for
in?
Paris, yeah. Try and go in that way.
That's definitely a possibility. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's December 26th right here.
It is.
Just a couple of days before the war starts. We're seeing these guys' plans drawn up. I think we're about to get started right here. Let's just see that initial mad rush as the war starts now. There we go,
Yeah,
January 1st, 1941. And let's see movement immediately from the Allies and from the Axis this time. They haven't forgotten. Both rushing for Amsterdam, Cologne. There we go. Frankfurt already captured with paratroopers. Amsterdam as well. Cologne too, ladies and gentlemen. All 3 victory points have been nabbed by the Allies immediately. However, the Allies in Frankfurt are at risk of being cut off. Nope, they've connected. They've connected. Okay, we're about to see the front lines here get established.
And they're all going to be on the Axis side of the Rhine. There's so much ground has been given. So much ground is there for Mohammed to take. He's looking at this and going, this is the perfect storm. This is exactly what I want. So I want to know, has John got a plan for this? Is this?
We'll see. We'll see. We see those bombers near Amsterdam. We don't see him devote in the south just yet right here. Hasn't crossed the south into the, well, what you want to call it, into Alsace-Lorraine. Same strategy might be coming out here from the first match in Mohammed's semifinal. But yeah, Amsterdam, Cologne, and Frankfurt all being held right now. If he does manage to push a little further past them, I don't know, we'll see. But it's definitely a way better start from John right here. Even though he doesn't hold any of the victory points, he's on the back foot still. I gotta say, it's a better start.
I mean, let's put it this way. John does have his key piece on the board. If you look towards Amsterdam, you do see these 2 tank divisions over here, or these 2 divisions with tanks in. These are very, very decent. Oh no, he's added. Okay, no, these are not a key piece that we've spawned in. These are something that John has created. They are Marines with medium tanks, and they have so much veterancy. So I don't know if you know about how veterancy works in HOI4, but or if people watching know about veterancy in HOI4. The higher your veterancy level, the more attack stats you have, the higher damage you do. And these are at max level because they've changed the special forces into this template, meaning that these guys are doing plus 20% attack, more attack than they are on paper. So those things are going to pack a bit of a punch. So the problem is, are they going to be utilized in the correct positioning?
I mean, let's see.
I mean, he's holding the line.
Right now. Yeah. Not a lot of movement in the line right here. I don't think we're going to be seeing any breakthroughs right here too soon. The majority of the fighting seems to be concentrated towards the middle, and it's being, it's lined up pretty well almost everywhere right here. Now, do you think how soon, if the Navy comes into play, which obviously it should, right? How soon do you think we're going to see that come into play?
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, sadly. I don't think this is the position that John wanted to be attacking from. I feel like he's going to try to make a play for Dusseldorf or Eindhoven way before then. I feel like he wants to let this extension into Essen become too much of a problem. Mohammed putting down the planning speed bonus on his troops there. He's wanting to get as much planning to continue this offensive on and push all the way to Dortmund, and he might just get it. If Dortmund falls, the supply along the front line is going to collapse as well, so this could be risky.
And it's right there, too.
This is going to be very close.
Push up north right here. Well, just to the west of Dortmund.
This is so close for the... Dortmund might be about to fall. Dortmund is 100% about to fall. Oh no, a counter click came in to stop that advancing troop. No, but another division went in.
There it is.
Dortmund did fall.
There it is.
Let's see the supply flip as well. It's just about okay because of Kassel and Münster, but damn, Dortmund
is south of Frankfurt. They're not looking too good though.
No, it's really not. They have to pull out of those areas. The thing is, all of the foothold that John had on the Rhine has been lost. There is no major supply hub on the Rhine for John to use to push to the VPs. Like Cologne is 2 tiles back from the front line now. Frankfurt is yes on the front line. Amsterdam yes on the front line, but Cologne is like 2 to 3 tiles back. 2 whole city tiles back as well. Slow moving tiles, and there's a lot of troops, and Mohammed just isn't letting up.
Down to 380 life points, by the way. Look, we're seeing that push up north. So if he pushes up north right here to like Groningen or Emden or something like that, do you think we could see the same type of cut off that we just saw in the previous match, where he's basically sectioning out his army and surrounding it pretty much entirely?
I think Mohammed will be wise to not go into the Friesland area, mainly because it is he's done it before to himself. But essentially, if you move up through Arnhem, see that tile just north of Arnhem? If you get in divisions stuck in there, it's really easy to cut off and crush, and it's known as the Utrecht pocket. Veteran players tend to avoid this region until they are way inland, mainly because it's a hazard spot. You could really easily get counter encircled there.
Yeah.
That being said, this push through the center is just super strong.
Meanwhile, holding south, holding north. Yeah, look, he's sort of bolting it to Emden right here, man.
Yeah, and look at the air. Our troops bombed right now on the air trades is up to 60 damage. Fighters lost 46 to 25. It's brutal in the air war, and this is what I mean. You have to go much further inland, and now Groningen and Leeuwarden, they're going to be connected by sea, so they're not going to be out of supply. But this is just a breakthrough, a route, if you will.
Oh, there it is. A push after Amsterdam as well. He's got Utrecht. Oh, there we go. There's a little cutoff. Still, like you're saying, help from the sea, but I don't think it's going to be enough, man.
Yeah.
And now, where does he go after this?
Who, John or Mohammed?
Mohammed.
Mohammed, I think he needs to start, he will start looking towards Frankfurt, try and push that line up from Nuremberg, maybe to Kassel, and then he'll close in and push towards Berlin. He's got to widen this pocket, widen this push. Otherwise, he risks his northern troops here getting pocketed. But with these attacks going out, if he puts pressure on Groningen, this is going to be an encirclement against John.
What's field and manpower looking like for the Axis?
Axis fielded in the field, 320k and dropping fast.
590.
Yeah.
For the Allies.
Almost double.
Yeah, almost double, ladies and gentlemen. We keep seeing that over and over, man.
What?
They get out, and they get out so fast, and they're so fast themselves once they get out.
Mohammed has his key piece on the build as well. He's gone for the 3rd shock army, and we can hear the Katyushas. The Katyushas are just pushing through. Look how fast these Katyushas melt infantry divisions up in Bremen now. Look, they're just pushing on through. Yeah. They are just absolutely collapsing this front line. Nothing can stand in their way. They are going to make a small retreat here. They could be overextending ever so slightly, but
near Cologne as well.
Oh, it's a brutal route. I think this is game, set, and we might be sending Mohammed here to the final in a swift 2-0.
We gotta be realistic here, ladies and gentlemen. We said it, man. We didn't want to say it, but we said it. It's looking like a repeat of last round, ladies and gentlemen. Just an absolute slaughterfest. These guys in Wilhelmshaven, they're about to. There we go. Another push right here, just south of Hanover. Going hard towards Hamburg, sort of chilling in the south, but now the push in the south has started as well, with these guys moving towards Kassel and towards Erfurt and Weimar.
Yeah, it's honestly ridiculous how
you see that?
That's a massive naval battle going on right now as well.
In Kassel.
But look. Kassel. Kassel is now they are a castle of their own. They are surrounded. It's again there's a small gains of encirclements that John is picking up. He's losing his entire army in the meantime. Again, I think this is just tantamount to when Mohammed is on form, he is the best player. We are seeing I've said it before, he is the current reigning world champion. He's out of practice, but he is the world champion. So in moments like this, it is clearly defined how good he is, how much of a cut above the rest is. But this does make me excited for the future of the rest of the tournament, considering it's taken him to Group 8 to get his shit together, almost. Like, we could have some tournament upsets, or he could claw it back. This could be a glorious, glorious ride that we are seeing just the beginning of.
Look at this, man. 3 pockets of the army cut off. 4 now, split into 4. It's just the losses. They're still about the same, but you know, one is killing his own people to kill the other people, so to say.
Yeah. It is. The casualty losses only show like direct manpower losses. The real telling story is the difference of the troops in the field. The Axe is now down to just 25 divisions against 82 allied divisions. 82. And that is a forced, that's a last stand coming in on the majority of the Axis army remaining. Hamburg is now the capital. Berlin has fallen.
Berlin's been captured. Yeah.
Hans, they're storming the Führer bunker.
You're absolutely dying. It's just sad. Oh, there we go. Another
Stop it. Stop it. He's already dead.
He's about to take Hamburg. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't think our player's gonna give up here. I don't think John is gonna give up. But there it is.
He's been capitulated.
Well, I was wrong.
He's been capitulated. GG's and GG's.
GG's, that's all I gotta say.
Let's talk to the players before we round this out for today. GG.
Congratulations.
That did not go well.
That did not go well is the understatement of the tournament.
Not at all.
Mohammed, congratulations. You are moving through to the grand final stage, starting tomorrow with the grand stage quarterfinals. You've secured yourself a place over on the world stage. You've got yourself a confirmed 250 euros. John, thank you for being creative, but
thank you for trying it at least.
what was the build? What was the idea? Walk us through it.
Basically, if I get to the river, I win. Because if I get to the river, I hold, and then I get insane soft attack from my 20 plus or 25% attack special forces tanks, which are also veterans, so I get 75% extra attack. So if I get to the river, I hold.
So he was just too fast for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, commiserations. Thank you for playing. By playing in these in these semifinals, you do earn yourself at least, I believe, a copy of the expansion pass for Hoi that's about to release. So I'll be in contact with you after the tournament to make sure that you land yourself that. And again, thank you for playing.
I got a screenshot of your reaction to it from Thad, and it's entirely worth it.
Wait, reaction of what?
That just screenshotted the stream when you looked at my pic, and it was entirely worth it.
Yeah. But anyway, congratulations, Mohammed. We're gonna round things out. Thank you so much for playing, guys.
GG's boys. GG's.
Good job. GG's.
He stopped me qualifying 3 times, by the way, just.
Oh, me?
Yeah, like.
I'm sorry, man. I need to get a spot.
Yeah, GG's. Well played.
All right.
But 3 times.
All right, Hawk. It's been emotional.
That was good.
How was your ride into Hoi? How was your ride into Commanders?
That was very, very good. Listen, I gotta say, man, you know, with just me and you here and the audience members, I feel like this mod, man, it's like, I feel like it has the potential to get a person into these types of war games or grand strategy games that aren't necessarily into them, because coming from maybe someone who loves to play board games and as a board game enjoyer, a map board game enjoyer especially, it's so much easier to understand this 1v1 scenario. Okay, so you have the world map and you have the good guys and the bad guys kinda, and they're battling it out 1v1, and there's so many less things to do than actual Hoi 4, I feel like. So,
I'd agree. It has the minutia of Hoi 4, and the real pro players will use every single bit of knowledge in the game. But at its basic, it is essentially a game of an advanced game of rock paper scissors, where it's about the two factions lining up, fighting for the VPs, and your faction picks.
So easy to understand.
Getting picks, getting counter picks. But I'm glad you've enjoyed it. I have. I'm glad that I've got some enjoyment from you for Hoi, from an EU master such as yourself. Speaking of EU masters, we've got Hegemon Season 2 coming up.
We do very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Some might say it's very soon, but first the qualifiers, of course.
Those qualifiers. I'm excited for our next qualifier matchup, actually.
I am.
We've got some really cool players trying to qualify.
I forgot who's participating, but chat, if you don't know, this past weekend on the 2nd, the first qualifying was supposed to go ahead. Unfortunately, one of our players dropped out, and with that, the Playmaker automatically made it into the main portion of the tournament. But on the 20th, in just 2 weeks exactly, in fact, we have
Lucas versus the chairman. So I think this could be a really good set of games. Two complete fresh faces to Parabellum Hegemon.
Fresh faces. Both of them haven't played. We already got one person that's never been in, the Playmaker. He tried to qualify last season. He failed. He got in on technicality of this season. So I hope he's good, or else...
He was playing along all of last season. He's been training. He's been doing the whole Rocky training montage as he sees the other people rise. I reckon he's ready. I think he's ready. But
yeah, super excited for the 20th. After that, keep an eye out on December 7th for the final qualifier, and we'll have our final lineup, our final roster for Season 2 of EU4 Hegemon, the greatest online competitive Europa Universalis 4 show.
Yeah,
Coming to a YouTube or Twitch stream.
New Year is going to be fantastic for us over here in Parabellum. But if if you want to continue with this journey as well, the Worlds begin tomorrow. They begin tomorrow. The quarterfinals are all happening on the same day. I'm going to be streaming for 4 best of 3s of some of the most elite players in Hoi. They'll move through the semifinals on the Friday, and then we'll have a bronze match, as in the third place playoff, followed by the grand final on Saturday. Join myself, Dankus, C-Mops, and a whole host of other people. Again, Hawk, Laith, thank you for letting me hijack Parabellum with a group stage of my little side project as well. We had a good time, and
welcoming us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll see you and you.
B?
Yes, you. On the 20th. And hopefully not before that, because I talked to you enough and I'm sick of both of you guys. And I'm going to go eat some onion rings and then sleep.
Yeah, I mean, at least Laith's gone, right? Right.
Yeah, at least he's gone. Yeah, thankfully I didn't have to do 2 with him.
Imagine.
You're slightly more bearable.
Especially with that high-pitched whiny noise in his microphone. My God.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Not just a strategy game, it's a grand strategy game.
That's an encirclement. Encirclement. It's not looking good. Yeah, oh my God, encirclement. That's like 8 divisions, more than that. I mean, it's like... There we have it. C-Mops is our champion. The allies needs to win here now. We're not going to get started. Free bubble. Dankus is in the street. The back section. What is he?